Hello, this is Rever, ready for the live stream. If anybody's out there and can say something, that would be good. Let me test something just to make sure the chat is working. It seems to be. In any event, I will get started. Oh, I see somebody seems to have joined. Welcome. I am going to give a little summary of where we were at in the last live stream, which is... Oh, hi, DP. Welcome. Is that how you want me to say your name? I'm not sure. Does that stand for Nintendo player or Nintendo 2 player, I mean? And is NP okay? By the way, there is a decent delay, so bear with me as best you can. I keep it on the higher resolution, like buffering settings, so that it turns out better for people who want to watch the replay later on, or at least so they say. So, in any event, I know, or at least I know you watched some, if not all, of the last one. We are getting our gravel road built. So that is knee. Okay, good. We were getting our gravel road built, and we were getting power up to where we want to build our gas station. So that I don't know if we can. I don't think there's any way we can rescue this truck. But if you remember, no fuel up here is where we made that one truck. So hopefully we can send some, I would guess, alcohol up there. Let's back all the way up. Very good. And let's see here. What else? So you're really wanting to build the hospital, and that I can understand. I think it was Radomir in the last live stream definitely thought that was a good idea, and I don't disagree. And I'm certainly willing to try anything. And I know you're talking about restarting, and I don't have a problem with restarting. I think I'd want to probably go way back to the beginning if I restarted, just to get, like you said, maybe even suggested a fresh start. But I don't mind the idea that we fail this. Like I mentioned in the other episodes, it may well be the case that we fail it. So we might as well get the time started, right? It's after 2 o'clock, so if they're not here, they're a little bit late. That's okay. But we will. Why don't we do this? Why don't we let them finish? If you look, just from last episode, I haven't touched a thing. I barely even moved the camera since I reloaded the start. Yeah, but how do I can't? Can we? It's run out of fuel. I don't think it'll. I've never had a truck run out of fuel, but then again, I've never tried to send one so far away. Yeah, can we just... We're going to do your suggestion there. By the way, I was pretty quick to read the chat. Sometimes the delay is me just... I have to look over to the right to read the chats, but that's not the depot. Oh, yeah, he'll go there. Okay. Well, good. I guess at least we don't have to lose that load of food, huh? And when he gets there, then he can decide to go to the gas station. Now here's another thing too. He might make it if we send him to the gas station. If he goes right to the gas station then goes back to the depot, he just might make it. But anyway, good idea. Oh, you know what? He's going to have a problem when he gets to here if we're still building roads, isn't he? Because one of our theories with him not making it is that he would slow down on the dirt road enough that it would cause him to basically stop, Well, that he would get like less gas mileage on the dirt road. And what is he doing? Does he just... Oh, yeah, see, look, he's doing the thing like a squirrel. Or is he trucking along? No, he doesn't seem to be going for... No, he went the wrong way, didn't he? He's just driving back and forth on that road. But I think that has to do with... We'll stop building gravel roads for a minute, and we'll let him come back. As soon as they're done this road, we'll get the hospital going. And we'll also, as we get the hospital close, well, see, we're running out of people again. So I had this open. Hey, Steve. How are you doing today? Welcome. Welcome back. We are, I don't know if you, Steve, have read the chats, but to catch you up, Nee is here, and she's been following my videos over the last weeks, and didn't make it to the last live stream, but here she is, and she has apparently, played in a very similar way, and has said that the very minimum number of people that you can have in your town is around 120, and that's just to kind of get like the basic stuff going. So when you start obviously adding people for your power plant, and you start adding people, you need even more than that. So she's suggesting that we get it up to 200. I hovered around the hospital there because the hospital is pretty important to keeping the people healthy. She tried to play it 2 different times, and just no matter what she did, she couldn't get a stable population with like a low number of people unless she had that hospital going. So speaking of getting the hospital going, we could set, I want to get these other things done just so they're off the list and not halfway completed. And I don't want to buy too many people until we're going to build the hospital, because we're down to the knife's edge, as she worded it in one comment. And I agree with that assessment. So we're going to see here what happens. Now, okay, good. So if you've read her ideas, it's like I was telling her, this is more of a, in my regular series, it's Dictator Rever. In this one, I may be the commissar, but it's the commissar of a friendly, I hope, friendly democratic situation, as you know. So yeah, I want to, get everybody's opinion on it, as whoever's here at the time we go to build the hospital anyway. And then after that, it's just a matter of trying to get some semblance of trade going. I don't know if you caught this, Steve. I don't know exactly when you came in, but where is it? We are trying to rescue this guy, and she suggested I send him back to the depot. He or she, I can't really see the driver. They may or may not. Yeah, I don't know. Kind of looks like a guy if I had to guess, but who knows? They seems to not be making much progress, but with no fuel, there he goes. Yeah, see, he's just now confused and driving back on the same section of road over and over again. So, but once I think the reason for that is because of this gravel construction is blocking his path. At least that's my guess. It's a pretty long gravel construction, but. So do you guys think I should buy a few more people, get us at least up to like 120? Probably not a bad idea. Otherwise, we got to watch their happiness. I mean, this is what I've been gauging it on. And this is what I think made us realize it is, if I could keep over this 90 people, then productive people or workers, then we could at least keep the happiness up. And that was like the first time I failed, that was like it just everybody's happiness crashed, and that was pretty clear. So I'm thinking of hitting that button to get a few more workers into the houses, get a few educated. I think they came with we got 7 there. And now when it comes to the comments about the educated, it seems like we're doing okay with getting all of the students educated. Like we don't have any adults in here, in other words. If we look at our educated over here, the uneducated is only 49, and it seems like we're doing an awful good job of that. Yeah, we're gonna need to get them. I'm hoping to get the hospital closer to built but we're gonna need more educated for that. All right, so let's get them. It sounds like Yeah, we're not getting a lot done, but the road, that's one of the reasons for building the roads at the time. What we're not going to get done is this. We're not going to get it done very quickly. Where is it? Yeah, this this electrical connection there. And so we have no workers. Okay, so it sounds like let's buy some people. Let's see. I don't think it makes any difference, other than they're going to cost us money. So we're going to invite 10 people. How many's in this one? Let's get at least 50 in each house. How does that sound? We have 3 houses. Oops, wrong button. Alright, that hurt, but at least we have a bunch more people, like you guys said, for getting things done. As soon as this little road gets done, how's that sound? And I do have it assigned to the construction. So there, let's look at our population. So we have 152 right now. So hopefully that will be enough. This guy is sent to just go to the plant. And it's a little tiny bus, so it shouldn't take too many of our workers away. And there's no workers assigned to this, so that they'll just be working with the excavator. And how was our? We don't have any workers here. We need to make sure we get some. Let's give it a few minutes to get everybody in the pipeline, so to speak. Sometimes I've noticed when you buy new people, it seems like they all rush out to go do shopping. It's probably just an illusion, but yeah, I see a few people. A few people are heading there. 7. Now, why didn't you? Did you get your? Okay, you got your maximum 5. Yeah, one of the things you can do is, you guys probably know this, but set these buses up to carry just the right number, so to speak, so that you're not. I think in this situation, if you can afford them, that you're better off with a few little smaller buses, keeping the shifts full, than dumping 60 people in here and sucking all your workers out of there. So what are we doing? Do we have everything we need on the power lines? Yeah, we have all the components purchased, just a matter of getting more people up there. Alright, so let's put it into fast forward mode. How's that sound? This isn't happening very quickly. Not like I think we're going to miss too much. Yeah, how were we doing on our food? So we've been making a little bit of alcohol, making a little bit of food. I could probably even get a bus or two eventually just to go drop off right here and here. There we go. It seems to be dividing them up fairly well. Yeah, we should do everything we can to keep construction at a minimum. What is the minimum? Well, I don't want to go that far. I want to make sure that let's go to 5. Yeah, how's that sound? So that way we make sure, especially with just the grocery store, because I think you're absolutely right about, like, you hardly ever see that many people in the cinema, and you hardly ever see, well, there's only one in the playground, but same thing with the pub. I think you don't normally, if everybody else is happy with everything else, you definitely don't see them in the pub. And we have a good number of people in here. Why don't we take this one down to 3, just to make sure. But that should help, just cutting those down. Yeah, we have 5 at the moment. No, yeah, see, I do have that one turned down to 5. So, and I think the bus is limited in. Well, no, there's no bus. It's just walking. So yeah, we already did that one. And then there's the kindergarten. We can turn. Let's turn the kindergarten down to like 4, just to give us a little buffer. How's that sound? Probably don't need 4. And teachers. Well, you got to turn the staff and teachers down. We have quite a few. I don't know. We don't need to be. Let's put. Oops. It goes from 4 to 6. I was going to say, let's put it on 5. Let's see how we do with 4. If we keep 4 teachers in there, we can see how that works out. How's that sound? Now, why aren't you guys working on this? Just a matter of getting the bus there. Well, that's kind of good if it means that you are sending someone up to here. Nobody's on any of the construction. Do we have a bus in the... What is the issue here? Where is our bus? Oh, look, we have no bus. I thought we... What happened to our bus? Oh, did I take them off because we were just... All right, well, that's mistakes are made, huh? That's not good. But at least we figured it out for the game for too long. Yeah, maybe I did that for even further things. So that'll explain. You know what? I think I might have done it. I'm forgetting right now. It was a while ago because I didn't want them taking workers to the road at the time, right? Because there's no real reason. It's almost worth like creating another construction crew just to deal with the road. So we'll see what happens with that. All right, so look at the chats for a second. Yeah, so what do you think of the reductions that I did there? There we go. Look, as soon as we put a bus on it, we get some people. This is almost done. And I think what we'll do is let's get our hospital going. Yeah, so now we have 8, 7, 3. So we're not getting too, I think we're limiting by the bus. And then these, yeah, you know what, this could be, let's just go with 2 here. 2 here. Well, you know what, we really, no, we're going to make sure we want people there for the thing. So that should limit, I guess it would be smart enough that when we drop a bus load off, it only sends 2 here, and the rest up here, right? It's not just the percentage that we have here. No, it's definitely not, because it sent more people to here and here. What happened to those people that just came up there? I just saw people go in. Strange. Alright, so we were able to assign the hospital now. So let's go ahead and assign the hospital now. Now the problem is that'll slow our gravel truck down, or our gravel truck for a minute is going to slow down coming here. But how are we doing? And we did assign gravel. Oh, look, I think we should maybe take off spending the money on this. Well, there's people, as far as the asphalt plant question, there are people who are assigned to it. Now, another thing we could do is get gravel being delivered to there, huh? And we could probably get gravel to be delivered to here. What do you want? Let's do that, because that'll save us a few bucks. Even though we're really not asphalting too much either. I don't even know if it's worth the fuel. And yeah, so we should have a couple people going there. And I would say, oh, we don't need that, but I bet you, yeah, we're going to need a little bit for this. But then after that, I don't know if you were saying that, Steve, to say, well, don't send anybody there. There we go. So our trucks came back, dropped off the gravel, or part of the gravel, dropped off the asphalt. Good. So in other words, yeah, we could take people out of there altogether if we're just building these roads and then just leave it assigning people there. I don't want to spend too, look, we're under 200 grand now. It really is truly tight. Once we get this road built here, then we can see about, will that truck come back? Does he, how much gravel does this job need? This job needs another 7.6 tons of gravel, so no problem. One more truck. We should have people working in the hospital, right? Yeah, they'll just go there directly. The workers are just heading there without the need of going to the bus stop. Yeah, let's get all the, I think this is probably, well, this might be the gravel truck, but we'll have, there's 22 people working in the hospital or on the hospital. So let's just get the gravel or the asphalt in there, and then I don't, yeah, because until we build another building, we don't need anyone in there. So, and that, well, we could start, well, at some point I want to get the gravel roads done first, because I think the efficiency will go up. Plus, that's sort of one of the rules of this playthrough, is to, you know, not just build power lines everywhere. All right, good idea. We're going to check the birth rate. That's not how you do it. How about I click the right button? The birth rate today, let's do, what is, okay, this is the end of the month. There's a little bit of a thing. So we have 23 deaths and 15 births. If we look at the whole year, well, let's look at last month. Last month was 5 to 15. Let's look at this year. So we had a bunch more people, which kind of throws it off. But if you allow for that one big spike, well, let's go hover over births. Yeah, we had a little bump up in births because we got a bunch more people. But if you look at the deaths over the year, it's certainly a lot more deaths. So we, over the course of the whole year, which has been pretty steady, I think, with the population, right? Like if we just look at population, other than when we just bumped it up, and even then we just kind of took it up, you know, like you can see that's dropping off, but it's sort of steady-ish, not like drastic changes, other than when we just bought those people. So we could say that this is, you know, a fair assessment of what we can expect without the hospital, kind of. Does that make sense? Like, what is that, like 3/4 or so, maybe a little more, 3 to 4, something like that. Yeah, well, we're getting the hospital put in, and you know, I tried to build and start this with the minimum number of buildings. I saw a post on the Steam forums that somebody was suggesting a like mobile construction or just a self-contained construction option, like a starter base, I guess you could almost think of it as, in a lot of other games, where you would be able to do everything out of that one construction office. Because one of the problems with trying to start like this was I had to spend a lot of money just to get, like, quote, the minimum that you could be working on. And if Nee is right, I would say that I didn't even really get the minimum. You know, so you could almost spend all your money just getting the minimum. Now, of course, you don't have to build a power plant. And, you know, I think if you had power, if you spent your money on just a power line coming in, though, you are going to have the negative of paying for that power the whole time. So that's definitely another negative. But so how are we doing? We got everything we need, and we're starting a new thing, but we don't have boards. We should be able to get boards from here. Yeah, so this is costing us money going down. But hey, if it keeps people in there, or keeps people from dying so fast, it's well worth it. Well worth it. because we have to get a. I mean, other than getting, I think the number one priority is we have to get an export. Oh, look, this road's built. So where's our truck? Is the little truck that could? Is he? Is he coming? Where is he? Oh, is he already down there? He's quicker than he looks. Yeah, he must be. All right, I don't see him. Oh, good. So, Nee was right. We could rescue him the whole time. He sat up there, stranded. No, he's not here yet. Is he going to get fuel or something? I don't know where he is. Where the hell are you, guy? You're just a corn guy. Huh. Oh, there he is. I was going to say, I thought I was pretty quick in noticing that was... Yeah, here he comes. So what do you guys think? I mean, it's not like we're going to do a whole lot else. Do you think... Like, the last time he left, it was like his starting run. And when he ran out of fuel, he went up to here to refuel. So do you think he would make it with a little more gravel path? I don't know if that's going to make a difference in the mileage or not, but do you think he would make it if we just sent him again after he refuels? And then he should just head straight on up there without dilly-dallying and, you know, wasting some of his fuel. I'm not sure. I mean, he had to come all the way back down to here and then go back up. So it would be shorter, and he was awful close. I'll let you guys vote and decide if you want. Tell me, should I send him back up or just hold my horses? Yes, I've the people fleeing thing is something that we have failed to get a handle on. And again, I think it was Radomir before when he was here in the live stream was saying, build a hospital, that will help. And then we sort of say, yeah, but we want to build this and we want to build that first. And, you know, so we just didn't. I'm not sure what you mean by the truck will stop on his way back. So we got a yes and a no. Do we have many? Well, there's 7 other people. I don't see too many other people chatting. Maybe somebody else wants to vote who's watching right this minute on whether we send our truck in an effort. Yeah, see, so he just got fuel. So, I mean, right now, if we were to send him, he's as fueled up as we can, you know, as we can get him. And I mean, the worst thing that happens is he gets stranded up there and wastes another tank of fuel trying it, right? So if I need to be the tiebreaker, which I don't necessarily want to be, I would say, well, you know what, if we send him and he gets stuck again, then we'll know that was dumb. So I'm not sure, Nee, if that was your statement to another thing or if you're saying, no, don't send it. Oh, I was muted. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not sure when I muted it. Sometimes I take a drink and I don't want to slurp, but I'm usually pretty good about turning it back on. All right, so we're sending him back, even though he's probably just going to sit there going back and forth until this road is completed. And we are on fast forward mode, so we only have $138,000. How is our population doing? Yeah, it really was close, Steve, wasn't it? Do you let me know? I just saw your comment, so I caught it. I was following the suspense of the truck. Yeah, you know what? It has been a while since no sound. Sorry about that. That's why I even forgot when I had hit the button. But you should get it now. So anyway, let's take a look at our population stats. 158. So we went down by 5 people still. But our deaths to births are for this month. I mean, it could be. Yeah, we just went up a death and a birth at the same time. So at least we're getting, this number's even for the last 14 days. Let's look at last month. Yeah, last month was good. We had 31 births and only 14 deaths. Let me check my sound. Yep, there we go. Good. Thank you, Nee. I wasn't paying attention to. I'm pretty good at looking at the chat, but because I was following the drama, I didn't look for a few minutes. So one of the things that I think I was asking, other than my colorful play-by-play announcing of the drama that you missed, was, I don't think there's really too much more that we can work on. I mean, we could build another house. How are we doing? I mean, but. Really, I don't think there's none of the houses are full. We could build another house, but we're not going to be able to build another industry. I mean, this is it. Like, this is where we prove Nee correct, most likely. If she, because she's played around with the map, probably more than I actually have, because I really haven't played it much in between. I want to keep it, somewhat as a team effort. You know what I mean? Like when I first started it, I kind of tested it out to say, well, this isn't impossible. But it seems like we might just be fast forwarding to the point we run out of money. Now, is there anything we can do? Oh, you know what? Steve's idea. I'm just going to take all of the people out of the asphalt plant, all of the people out of the concrete plant, but we have to remember to put them back because there's a good chance I won't. Is there any other? Did we turn the hospital down? Well, if we turn everything down, we're not building anything. Is there any other suggestions to build something? I mean, I guess we don't need. Yeah, let's keep it where we can have 4 or 5 patients. How's that? Well, that's if we only had 4 doctors, we could get 3 patients. Okay, so the number of patients equals the number of doctors, and then you have more staff. So I don't think we need to turn it down too much. The building is without power supply. Great. So we do have something else to build. How far away could it be? Look, this one's only. Where's this one getting its power from? Why can't I see? Oh, yeah. Look, 263. Okay. Well, I don't know where we'd be most likely to build, but I definitely want to get a. I mean, I could probably slip one in. I'd want to try to put it in a half decent spot without making it too big of a project. Alright, so let me... Right now, I think I need to get power to our... You know what? I think I'm going to put it... like out of the way. If we ever built more houses, I think we could build some down this way. And I think this would cover anything we built over in this direction. How does that sound? Yeah, there are some buildings that seem to not care about the power. So let's just... I'll plop this down. And then we'll just build the little medium poles for now. And I'll kind of keep it, this power line, out of the way of... out of the way of where I would probably build a house, you know? Yeah, I do. It would be nice. Somebody was complaining like the power lines don't work. Well, they work, but they certainly... look at that. There we go. That worked out pretty well. All right, so let's set our... So you're saying, okay, you know what? I'm not going to stop any road construction, but I'll add that power plant to it. If we can get that next gas station in, which we probably have enough money to do that. So I will assign these guys, and they're going to need the workers back. And you know what? If we put workers on the... This construction's already complete, and I didn't commit to the electrical. Shorter will be cheaper. I'm sorry, I'm behind the times. Shorter electrical poles, or... What would our electrical poles cost us if we paid for them? 4,000, so... On the power line, yeah. It shouldn't cost us too much, right? 1.4 electrical components, the boards. Yeah, I guess I'm at this point I almost have to be in emergency mode though. I guess maybe I'm hearing that. Like you know, the shorter the better and the cheaper the better and the whatever the better, right? 161, so we went back up a little bit. Now when you said in a comment not too long ago, you had mentioned that you said more people. Like, do you think we should buy more people now? I don't really need more people to do the jobs we're doing. I don't think. I mean, once we get some trucks going up to here. Now, should we get more gravel trucks since we're going to be carting this stuff so far, just to speed up our hopeful construction? You know what? We could place down our... We could place down our gas station, couldn't we? Oh, did I forget to do that? I think I said something and then I... Oh, yeah. Oh, you know what? I didn't even build the road to it yet anyhow. So let's build a little dirt road. And Nee, by the way, the only thing I don't like, and I agree with building the dirt roads, it wasn't something I was doing much, especially for like pre-construction kind of planning. I just don't like that they're so instant. And then I think I talked to SB Gaming, and he had a good way of looking at it. It's like, well, it's oh, you know what? I don't have this built. There we go. So to be honest, I think that taking the bus off of there will have some impact because we'll get a few less people up here. But it won't, even if we left it on and it took some people up to the gravel, I don't think that's the end of the world. So why would I look in here? Is nobody ever getting treated? But it does seem like a lot of people are going in and out, huh? I think you can see that in the stats, right? I thought there was some place I could see the total number of treated people or something. Now, how are we doing? Look at how little, well, that's this month. Last month, yeah, it's only, so at this point, with the little bit of construction we're doing, yeah, we are overall, I don't understand domestic production. Oh, it's just, we are actually making more money than we're spending. So our overall value is actually going up. I know I distracted myself. Hey, Gas Mask, welcome. I'm glad you could make it back again. We are plugging along, and we have built a hospital, and we are trying to get our road built that we talked about last week up to a gas station that I think we had decided we were going to end up putting 2 gas stations along the road, but the first one would be in this area. And we would, you know, that should be enough to at least get a truck up there, I think. It's sort of going to be sketchy. And like Nee had said at some point in this episode, it's going to be a bit difficult to, you know, you're going to have to kind of like cheat them up there almost, I think. But hopefully he'll run out of fuel at the right spot and come back to here and refuel and then go the rest of the way, right? All right, so let's go over here and here. And what do you guys think? Do we put the gas station right on this side of the hill there, even though it's off the main road, or do we just put it, how about we just put it here? That won't create a new node. There we go. So now we have our gas station. Hopefully that won't be in the way of any other future, though I don't know if we even have a future at this point. So Gas Mask Nee has played around with the map in some ways more than I have, and has calculated that even we're probably too far gone to save ourselves at this point. Mistakes were made, mostly surrounding getting in the hospital and the population. The map that I uploaded, I forget, was that one? I forget whether it was like after the first live stream. So good. I like advice. And by the way, this is a democracy, so this isn't. I mean, sure, I guess I click the button at the end of the day, but at the same time, I definitely like to get your guys' opinions, and if there's a vote, I'll go along with the consensus. So if you're talking about here, I know it's here, right? No, I know what you're talking about. Resources, this one, right? Yeah, there's certainly there's certainly enough to be said to. So there's the coal thing that I think Gas Master was talking about, and yeah, the 30 mile. No, see, we do miles per hour here, but kilometer per hour, that's pretty slow. That's that's an issue. You're right. It's a good limit, but then again, the only like I think I said it in one video. You know, if you have you, we have areas here in the United States that have dirt roads, and they're just horrible. Like if you get any kind of a rainy thing, I mean, they're just there's no way you could take trucks up and down them. Really, like the trucks would just like tear them up so bad it's not even funny. You know, like practically impassable. Really, actually impassable. Like unless they're just highly maintained. You know? The button to show a wireframe of all resources on map. Questions and answers. Okay, I didn't know. Okay, so let me read your thing more carefully. Try to check your menu buttons to find an option where you can see where all the resources. It shows you where the oil, coal, iron, and something like that. So would it be in here or not? Like, so if we, so let me zoom out so we can, you know what, before we get distracted by that, let's make sure we're still, yeah, we're still got 88% on that road. Matter of fact, we'll come here because I know there's some oil right here. So if I find, so this isn't going to be it. And I'm talking, I mean, I guess it would be, yeah, I do have the test version, but I mean, the only thing I know of is, and I've looked at most of the things here at some point after all these hours. And I've heard people talk about such a thing. The only way I know of to do it is to, you know, to click on like here and go to oil. Like I happen to know there's oil by where, one of the reasons we put this gas station in, some faint hope that we would ever, you know, if we did it, we do have power to start a construction to get an oil thing going, you know, where you can hover with that. I wonder if it's something like, yeah, I don't know of that button, but I'd be more than happy to know it. Though, yeah, in a game like this, knowing where the resources are, I don't know. When your alternative is you know, doing this number, that's not the right one. The coal mine, you know, doing this. Oh, look, there's a little. Like, I mean, I guess I don't have a problem with knowing where they are, you know. All right, how's our people doing? Yeah, you know what? We're not dropping off. All right, so how's our construction? Okay, we're done. Nope, not quite done. We got that much left. 3 tons of gravel. $127,000. Hey Pietro, how are you doing today? Welcome back to another stream. There we go. I always like these guys when they're in fast forward mode here. There we go. All right, so let's get another road going. To there, okay. And we'll click on this guy. There we go. Pietro, was it your suggestion or? Oh, yeah, it's all good. It's only an hour into it at this point, right? Gas mask, you're not bothering me at all with suggestions like that. And by the way, I have a whole second computer. It's not that I'm actually reading your chats on. And I could go look, even though I couldn't read the chat necessarily, and look up what you were to tell if you were to show me, how to do that resources thing. So Pietro, I was going to ask, were you the one saying that we should build the hospital, or was it Radomir that was kind of making that suggestion? Because Nee went and tested and tried to go from one of the videos forward, and basically figured out that we needed the hospital. What do you mean you don't remember my name? The real one, I'm Mike. In real, it's my real name. But Rever's fine. It's kind of weird. Like, when I get on YouTube, and I've used Rever in so many video games. Like going back to EverQuest 1 kind of thing. That I just sort of think of myself as Rever when I sit here. But Mike is my real name in real life. And I'm not so secretive about it or anything like that. I guess a lot of people talk about separating. It's not like, I don't know, whatever. I don't give away personal information on the internet, but that's nothing to do with you guys. It's just, I don't like giving my personal information to the internet whenever I can avoid it. Just who knows who's out there, Yeah, it could have been something that you saw going back to Gas Mask. Gas Mask, it could have been something you saw in some pre-release kind of thing, huh? But yeah, to be honest, between making my own videos, and I do watch some other people's when I'm doing it, but at the same time, I've got a lot of other things going on in life, and so I don't get a lot of time to sit there and watch too many YouTube videos. And there's just other people I watch on YouTube or whatever, just that aren't this particular game. As I'm sitting there playing this, at times you can have somebody else on. Sorry, I'm catching up with the chats here. Well, thank you, Gas Mask. I appreciate that. No, I don't have a Discord server, and that's not a bad suggestion. Or some kind of thing like that where you guys could speak would probably be a good idea. This all sort of happened. Oh, look, where's this guy? Oh, he went. Yeah, he's going back home. Oh no, okay, yeah, he drove right through the construction site. That surprises me. Anyway, now, but you know what? I will get a Discord server at some point. Now that this will be more regular. I think you guys, if you go back and look, this is probably the first successful, I guess you could call it, series where there's people that are. I've always had people that watched my farming sim videos and a few people that watched. I never really did flight sim videos that much, but never quite as many people. And I never really tried to do much for the live streams of those where anybody showed up regularly like you guys are. So So this is all a bit new to me too. And how about we do this? I will look into it and make one by next week. Does that sound fair, Pietro? A little bit. I'm not sure how easy that is to do, and you guys might have to understand. I'm a little bit of an old fuddy-duddy in some ways, right? I'm not. For being a computer programmer, sometimes people are amazed at how, like, when it comes to cell phones, like, I'm just not into cell phones much. Like, I still have like a Samsung Galaxy 2 or whatever it is. I don't even know what it is. It's like 7 years old now, and you know, it's fine with me. When it breaks, it breaks. I'll get another one. Hey, Nino, welcome back. But yeah, we'll get one for next week. How's that sound? Next week. Yeah, there's some weekend here. I'm going down to help my cousin with something, so I should have figured that out before I got on today. Let me take a look at my calendar. No, I think it's the 18th. So I won't be doing this the 18th, but I think I will be doing it next week. So we'll get a Discord server going for the 18th. How's that sound? For the 11th. And then the 18th, I won't be able to do this. Okay. Yeah, I figured it probably isn't too hard, but there seems to be in life, even those things that aren't too hard, when you're not familiar with the whole process, like I guess that's what I'm trying to get to with being a fuddy-duddy. It's like, some of the stuff you have to understand how they generally do things, and then it makes it really easy. But when you don't usually sign up for too much stuff like that, even the whole process just makes everything more complicated. For example, my mom goes to fix her computer, and she just doesn't even know how they work, right? So it's like she doesn't know what's normal for a computer to do almost, The game that has a map. So what is... So I'm not sure what you're giving me there, 100% gas mask. Message retracted. Okay, that I never saw before. Is that because YouTube... See, YouTube has some rules that I don't have anything to do with. Okay, so I don't know. Did you delete your own thing? I'm just kind of curious, Gas Mac, or did they take it away from you, or was that auto gotten rid of because there was a link or something? Because see, I was looking in some of the settings. Somebody had sent a chat the other day, or not chat, a comment on the video, and it was like really long, and it put it in like the spam. So, but it wasn't spam. It was somebody just, saying a whole lot of stuff. So I okayed it, told them it wasn't junk. All right, there's not much to see here, is there? We are in fast forward. We only got 123 grand left. I don't think we're going to make it. And by the way, neither does Nee. So, sorry about that, guys. Right back. I'm sorry. That's the weather radio, and then I'm so quick to mute it every time I get a sip of water or something, and yet I don't mute it when the horrible noise is going off. But I was actually wondering whether or not I was going to do the live stream. And then I looked at the timing. I said, well, you know what? If I have to cut it off because of this upcoming storm, then I'll have to cut it off. You guys can, you know, if you look at the weather for Pennsylvania in the United States, that's basically the area that I live in. Let me go take a look at the radar just to see what they're. So there's a flash flood watch, but there's no weather anywhere to be seen. What are they? They do give you a message on the forecast, so. And this isn't an error. This is a time of year though that we can get real bad. By the way, last week for some people that you may or may not be aware, I lost my power for like 16 hours. So it's not a tornado alarm; it's a flash flood alarm, but it's actually just a watch. Meaning, so here in America, what we have is like they give you a watch, means look out. The conditions, it's possible. But if they give you a warning, that means like there's a tornado on the ground or it is flooding. Like, so that was just a watch for like the next couple days, or not next couple. What does it say here? Flash flood watch in effect till 8 p.m. tonight. So in other words, at some point today, they're expecting some really heavy rains here. Yeah, do you think I should take the construction bus off? I wasn't sure if he would help, you know, maybe if not, I don't know if it's worth the fuel to drive those people up there or not. I mean, they are not making progress because the problem is we don't have gravel. Do you think we should buy another, we could take a vote. Do you guys think we should buy another dumper? So we can take this off of there, I think is what you're saying, right? I don't have a problem with that. We didn't have any passengers in this instant anyway. So why burn the fuel? Because I don't think they're doing that much to help. Do you have, is there weather right now? Is that why you're saying that? Or are you just saying that as a general statement about, is it Sabio Chies? I don't know how. Not real good with Italian. All right, so let's copy. That won't work on the National Weather Service, but I can go to the internet. Okay, so let's see. Let's see where you're at in general. Always kind of neat to see. Oh, you're way up north. Yeah, that's. Well, weren't we talking about it? I was in Milan with that company. And where was I at in Milan? Now that I'm close there, I forget. You know what? Let me type in. Let me type in Odo Mills. Otto Mills. Yeah, so Otto Mills, let's see. Yeah, there it is. Is it the place I was going to was, let's see, is there a town? You probably would, it's like south of Mantulia. But the way we would go out is, so by Parma, that's it. That was the town where we would go to eat lunch sometimes, was Parma. Sorry, I need to watch the chat. All right. Am I not paying attention? We're still building road, missing the bus. Good. Okay, so we'll buy another truck for this guy. How's that sound? Well, we don't have much money, but... okay. Well, be safe. I don't know how bad the weather is. The weather can be pretty serious. Dumper. And it's a shame we don't have that big dumper. I like the big 16-ton dumper. We'll take the 12-ton. All right, so we got an extra dump truck. Won't hurt things. How is our population doing? Ooh, we went down to 156. How is our food store? So we've maxed out our food, huh? And we have our food guy sitting here. Yeah, I'm starting to really lose faith in the fact that we're going to make it. Yes, I saw. You know what? I haven't really thought about the new construction buildings, though I did plop a few down just for the sake of Pietro, and I think it was your suggestion that I build other ones. And then what I tried to explain to Pietro is that I don't have style, style and making things look good is not my thing. What I like about these buildings is they take up such a little tiny area. Like they're no bigger than this gas station, yet you get 75 workers in them. But I think some of the newer ones, see, like this one, which has like 174, takes up like 4 times the space, right? Here, let me zoom in a little bit. So it's less efficient to put them in this building. So are the newer ones... So see, this one only has 48, and it's as big as the other ones. I know everything's not about efficiency in life, but now this one, though, 97. That's one for the running, because that's almost 100 right there, and that new one is definitely in line with my old one. No reason I would not put some of those up if I wanted to make a tight town, Yeah, see this one. It's nice, but it's not efficient. How about this one? 127. Again, it's kind of taking up the space of 2, but you're not losing too much. And if you noticed, I think it was this one I kind of like with 179 workers. It kind of takes up the space of 3, which would be equal to 225. But it's also nice and compact and whatnot. And then this one at 189. Yeah, this is the one I think that I like, because this one's actually arguably as efficient as my normal one. But this still takes the cake for people per square feet, I think. Unless there's one that I'm missing there. Take a look at the bottom. Oh, yeah, you mean, okay, when you mean the bottom of the houses, like here. Yeah, this is all the same. That's all the same. I know that they did add the new small shopping center, which we will build in the other series, and I probably would have built it here if it was available when I started the map. Yeah, hailing is no joke. Being stuck in the hail is not fun. Hopefully the bus stop had a cover on it. Now, Nee, when you were playing around, do you think he would get further now that we've paved a little bit more of the highway here? Now we could actually do a pretty fair test, because he would start from the same exact spot on the same exact route. Now, I have no idea really what communist life was really like, other than I had a guy that I worked with for a few years. We were on the 3rd shift, where we didn't always, like, whenever him and I were assigned to work together, we really didn't have that much to do, so we had plenty of time to talk. And he was from Russia, and he was about my age, so he had grown up, in the 70s, or 70s and 80s, and in Russia. It was interesting to talk to him. And then another guy that worked in that same place, though he didn't work there that long, was from Vietnam, and he was actually from South Vietnam. But then he ended up. That's probably not fair to even the communists to say what was going on in South Vietnam right after the Vietnam War. He ended up escaping. He was like one of those boat people Like, and they ended up taking them to some island there, like, because the boat broke down, and they all thought they were going to die. Like, they were like 7 days without water and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, he had a interesting childhood. And then, yeah, because his father had fought for the South Vietnamese, so like, I don't know, that made him not eligible for anything or something like that. And then that he got to come to New York City or something somehow. So once they got rescued, then eventually he made it to America. So anyhow. Yeah, good as a cover. One thing I was amazed at when I was in Italy, and it might not have been everywhere in Italy, but at least how many parking lots that you guys have that are covered. Like here in America, it's pretty rare that you would ever just cover a regular parking lot. Like the factory that I worked at had like a whole, not worked in, but that Auto Mills, you know, they had a whole covered area to park under each day because of the, I guess, get your car out of the sun or the weather. It was nice. Nowadays, I imagine you'd put solar panels. The only place I know of around here, and it's been recent, is one of the sports stadiums. They put a bunch of solar panels / covers over certain parking lots. Well, I just built the radio in the regular series, and I don't know. I mean, the pollution, I think that there's a lot of things that they have planned. Like, I guess you would need a pollution map, but I think, you know, when you have, like, theoretically, your people will die younger if they live near the power plant or near, you know, near the different polluting type things when you see a bunch of smoke coming out of them. So I guess the pollution station would allow you to monitor that at the very least, right? Yeah, it's not much of a thing to build, is it? Probably should build it. Maybe not because we have 130 grand left in here, but yeah. You know what? Why was I picturing that being so much bigger? I guess I never even really, I don't know. The first part of my series, I was more worried about. Yeah, you know what? We will build one of those in the regular series. Yeah, well, when I was growing up in America, I mean, pollution was. I mean, I think they had started to clean up their act, but I remember being like a little kid going down to the river to fish, and there was a factory that was like, you know, one spot on this river, and it would just like open up this pipe and blow out this white water. I don't know what was in the water, like, and there I'm sitting there fishing, go home and eat the fish, you know? I'm catching up with the chats again. You think more gravel trucks? Yeah, the whole selling the vehicles there could certainly be a penalty to that. Huh? Okay, well we can get two more without getting rid of anything else. So yeah, why not? Right? They're not that expensive, and they do go up in price, so you kind of are better off buying things. There we go. So we got maximum without selling anything else. Two more. You know what? We'll have to take one of them back out of there, or something back out to put the bus back in. Hey, XL2S, how are you doing? And welcome. Yeah, if you can't decrease it, what do you do about it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is there some way to, I guess, I mean, I can't, it's not like I have another power station option. Right? I mean, there's no other way to make power. Maybe I shouldn't say that too quick because it's been a while since I looked in here. No, I mean, it's not like we can switch over to natural gas or solar panels or whatever. I don't know how your countries are doing with the whole wind thing, but I know there was a fairly big report recently here in America about how the wind is really not working out. And I know Germany's had some issues with their renewable stuff as well. At least with it being profitable, you know. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, as I got older, I remember seeing it. I really, honestly, don't know what they ever made. You know, it actually kind of looked a little bit like this building without the just a plain old drab whitish building with, a little bit bigger than this, but it looked kind of like that. I mean, it had a few of these kind of tanks in the yard, but not necessarily this exact shape. But anyway, yeah, just dumping junk right out into the river. Oh, look, we're done. All right, let's slow down for a second because we are getting. Now the question is, when we build this, and I don't know if you had done this, Nee, but when we build this, do we... Let me get this assigned before I talk too much. When we build this road and we get this gas station in here, which, look, we're getting kind of close. You know what? I might as well just assign this one as well, right? Why am I... Okay, so we'll just get all of these assigned. Well, I think... Do we want to assign... Nah, I think I want to try to send the truck up there again if we actually get this gas station built. There we go. So all the roads are assigned up to the gas station. I'm not going to worry about graveling, to our power station there. And we have this one assigned. And I can't assign that one, right? It would be nice if you could, though. Where it would just say, oh, okay, I'll put that as a number 2 priority down here or something. All right, let me catch up with chats. Yeah, so we got, let's put the time up. XL2S, I think I don't know if we're going to make it. We're just, I think we've spent, I forget exactly what we started this session with, but it was like 200,000. And Nee had played around with the map some to try to get it, to see what she could do. She took my save that I had uploaded, the link, on the one of the live streams, I think the second live stream, second or third, and she said you have to have the hospital. And let's just check our population. We're hovering, we're not dropping anymore. So, and she even said that we probably need to get more people before it'll really grow. But at least, let's see, over the course of this year, if you look, if anything, we did buy some people at one point. I think it was the end of last year. So we are, we're up, we're holding our own. And I think this population includes all of that. So we're getting more people. So if we go to the deaths this year, we only had 112 where we've had 163 births. So even though our productive age workers isn't doing too well at this moment, we are making more babies than are dying. So we should eventually here get going with the population. My plan to make some money is to we have alcohol and food kind of building up here, where we've kind of hit our max on the food. And alcohol is actually worth a fair amount, and food is worth a fair amount. And my plan would then be to micromanage the fact that we've got 10 tons of corn in the fields. So if once I prove we can steadily get trucks up there, we are going to unleash as many open hauls as we can afford without bankrupting ourselves in the meantime. And we probably will take our, closed hauls, covered hauls. We'll probably take them out of the construction area for a little while and just send trucks up there. Again, it's everybody's opinion, by the way, too, Gas Mask. This is not just Rever decides. This is, what do you guys think? So I welcome all of your suggestions, even the quieter people that may not always comment. You're always welcome just to throw a vote in there on a question or. So you tell me in a way what you think we should do, and we can all have opinion. Of course, at the same time, I guess at the end of the day, as Radomir pointed out, I think last week, I am the guy with the clicker. So I guess at some point I'm the argument settler and the tie vote caster at that point. But so yeah, at this point, and again, that's I mean, I guess we could try to sell gravel. It's one of the questions I had is how much does the fuel cost, which we kind of now know, right? Yeah, because we drove this guy all the way up there. Oh, by the way, XL2S, I know you were here the first week or last week when we tried it. We made it this far, but when he started right from the depot with a few more gravel roads, he made it up to here. So look how close he was to making it to Mulna. But in order to get there, he used 699 liters of fuel. Now the problem is, how many liters of fuel is in a ton of fuel? So when these guys fill up, maybe we could tell. Well, we could tell if we look at another vehicle fill up, right? Now again, I know we could figure out. I guess the game would be accurate in this respect, right? That's the bus platform. We want a gas station. So if I stopped purchasing fuel, don't purchase fuel for a minute. And I'm going to wait till somebody pulls in there, and then I'll just pause it. Let's see how much fuel they get. And we have exactly 14 tons right now. There he goes. So this guy is going to get fuel, and he's almost empty. So for a rounding sake, so he's down to 36 tons here. I don't know if you guys could read these numbers, so I'll read them out. So this is pretty much a full tank that he's going to get here right now. So let's see how much this goes down. Hopefully nobody else pulls in the meantime. There he goes. Okay, so he went up to 613 liters. Now what is this guy saying he has? He might have burned off a few. Oops. I missed him. This guy is saying he has, 599. Yeah, basically the same thing. Again, it doesn't have to be that exact. And we are down to 13.2. So 13.42. So it's pretty much, we could say that 0.1 tons equals 100 liters. All right, and if we had our system working, this guy's going to need, in order for, let's play time again. So does that make sense? And I froze it enough. So it's like 0.1 tons. So that means is 100 liters. So 1,000 liters is 1 ton, which I don't think that's actually true in real life. And again, are these metric tons or are these American tons? So a metric ton is a little bit more than in our old English measuring system is a little bit confusing for people, but a ton is 2,000 pounds. A pound is 2.2 kilograms. I'm sorry, 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. So metric ton is like twice as, I don't know, whatever. So what kind of tons are those? And why would they use tons in a game that was using liters? Like, I watched an interesting show about a guy with the whole liters and why America didn't switch when other countries did. And it turns out that a lot of other countries have little measurements that they still use as well. And did you know, this is something I never knew, that there was a 10-based time that everyone rejected? Like, in other words, we might have had 10-hour days. Yeah, so 1 ton, so that, okay, I got myself distracted. So anyway, so it's going to take this guy 1.5 tons to get up there. And how much does 1.5 tons cost? 1.5 tons of fuel, if we were to buy it from the rubles, or from the Soviets with rubles, is $200. So it's going to take him let's say $300 cost of fuel, if we have to pay for the fuel there and back, it's not worth sending something that we're going to make less than $300 for the trip. All right, let me catch up because I was talking so much. All right, you know what? We could do faster mode, and let's get back up towards our road so we can make sure that should be getting pretty. No, it's not close to being completed. All right, let me catch up on these chats. Okay, so the game is accurate, but why use ton? Like, in other words, ton is an English, or it's, units. Yeah, well, you know what? It may be 1100. I rounded things up, by the way, guys. So yeah, but again, for our math, I think it's pretty fair to say that if he burnt 600 liters to get to this point, using a number, that meant he bought 0.6 tons, right? 600 liters. Just, to keep it simple rather than do 1100 versus, again, in the ballpark of. It's going to be, that's two of those, so 1.2. Let's give it a little bit extra because we don't, there's going to be some inefficiencies we're not accounting for. So if we said 1.5 tons, it's going to cost us, maybe less than 300. But remember, these prices are always going up too, so. What happens if he gets up to here and turns around for gas and gets, like that whole kind of fiasco. So it's going to cost us, I would guess, around $300 for a trip up there and back. So it's not worth selling gravel up there. I think you would just go further in the hole for paying for the fuel. So let's see what we could sell that might be worth it if I click the right button. Okay, but why? So why don't you guys use like kilotons or something? Or well, you got kilograms. What would be like bigger than that? You would think you would use something bigger than that. That's all. All right, so I don't know if anybody disagrees with my mathematics on the $300, but looking down the list of the things we make, all like 4 of them, alcohol we would sell for 328. Ouch, that's our best thing. Food's only 175. Now, yeah, I don't know that it's worth selling almost anything that we make, driving it that far. That's pretty depressing. Gravel, there's almost no way you would send gravel up there. Heck, at some point it's probably cheaper to pay the delivery cost than build another warehouse. Like, when we get far enough up here, it's actually probably cheaper to get our gravel from Molina, because gravel would cost, 13 tons plus the delivery charge, whatever that would be to this, to put wherever we built that. Now we're not going to have the money. I think we're almost done if we can't get a couple trucks going. But well, okay, I'm reacting to Knees. Why are you confused? I mean, when we sent this truck up here, we'll go back over it. No reason for any confusion. So we sent this truck up there, and he had 600 liters of fuel. And as real life and my kind of brief calculation by monitoring a vehicle getting filled up, like how many, so what I did was I shut off the purchase of fuel there. Let me turn that back on. Yeah, you know what? We're going to keep that low. It was buying it up to 14 tons in here. So I watched how far it went down, and it went down about 0.6 when he filled up a 600-gallon tank. So that was saying that about a ton per, or 600 liters in 0.6 tons, more or less. So it's pretty much a ton per 1,000 liters, and it took him 600 liters to drive from here pretty much almost up to Molna. Figuring that he would have to then drive back and use at least another 600 liters, that's 1.2 tons of fuel. And then if he, just add some fudge factor there for my rounding errors and just inefficiencies, and you could say, well, 1.5 tons. Right? You are absolutely right, Pietro. Good point. When we can ship 5 tons, I was not doing that in my little thinking there. So good thought. I would have probably figured that out eventually. Probably, yeah, because if we click on the alcohol truck here, who's just a little alcohol truck, he's got 500 value in him. So yes, you're absolutely right. It probably is. This guy has $1,300 worth of food. So it will definitely be worth him getting up there. You are absolutely correct. Yes, modeling anything, density of fluids would definitely be more complex, I would think, Yeah, well, good. I'm glad that clarified it. It seemed, well, I mean, it's something to keep in mind. Now, what I was wrong about, Nee, that Pietro pointed out, I assume you're reading the comments too, is that when I was looking at our little chart here, I was just looking at the price, and this is for 1 ton. So it is worth sending food. Now, let's see, what about the crops? See, the crops, it's probably not worth sending crops because what can we get, like 10 tons of crops in there? And we would only get like 200. It is tons when we, uh-oh, fire. Good job, guys, good job. What'd you put out? The gas station? What was that on fire? Oh, the construction depot. We didn't need to lose another one of them. We already lost one in an earlier episode. These guys need to stop playing with matches in our construction depot, don't they? How are we doing? Oh, we need another. Come on, keep this going. This is critical. There we go. Well, that's good. Once we get that one built, we'll actually be up here building substations and whatnot. And switches. If we build a warehouse up there, Steve, we could backhaul. Yes, that would actually be a good idea. Now, one of the stipulations that I put for building anything away from the town, and mainly I was thinking of the electrical poles, but is I didn't want to just build based on the dirt roads, like build a whole nother town up here, Not that we could afford it at this point anyway, but we could, yes, I wouldn't be opposed to, if we build a gravel road up here, which I just like the idea of for, again, it's not that I'm against the dirt roads, just, to have a trucking route, you're going to want at least a gravel road, right? And it also just adds some more challenge to the map at that point, so. So Steve is right. Yes, we could definitely, once we get this road going, I mean, assuming we survive, right? Like, assuming we could get things out and sell some stuff, Yes, absolutely. I would have no problems with, but I would want to build the gravel road the whole way up there, which I don't think is, that's not that unreasonable. It's a lot of road, but I think we're also going to need a gas station, probably up this way too, because I don't really think this is going to work that well unless we have, another gas station. I mean, I think two of them on this whole route would make some sense. Like this one, in some ways, isn't that far away from our original town. Might be enough for us to micromanage things. Like, no, as far as I know, you can't buy direct. Like, in other words, there's nothing here that says, "Oh, buy it." Can we buy direct? That's a good question. I've never actually tried, but it doesn't mean we can't, right? So if we click on a truck, yeah, that's our truck that we sent back. So if we were to say go to Molna, does anybody else know the answer? I mean, it does let us load things. I didn't build the road straight because I didn't have a construction office to level the ground. You can see right here is a little evidence of me trying to go this way up over this hill and figuring out that there was really no practical, like I had built the road like just straight, and then from here I was trying to build it up over this, and I couldn't get it to go up over that, and I didn't have a construction office close enough. Okay, you can't buy. Yeah, I didn't think you could buy direct from the border, but uh, no, the gas station is way down closer to Revergrad. What the heck is that town? Why is there a town there? Anyway, the we're actually not that far from Revergrad with this first gas station. Remember, we ran our power just around the hill here, and we did our zigzag little thing across the roads to save a few bucks. No, but you know what that has me thinking? Do you guys think we should build a depot right here? If we build a depot right here, then we could actually like cheat him in a sense. And like when he did run out of gas, if he didn't make it all the way up there, instead of sending him all the way back to Revergrad where he won't make it, I'd send him back to this depot. Um, Gas mask. One of the rules that I have for this map is that I'm not going to just. I realized that when I was first starting, that all I had to do to make this really easy was sell power to somebody, most likely the Soviet Republic's neighbors. Like get some rubles coming in. So yes, on the first day we could just have built a power line all the way up to here and started selling power. And as far as I was concerned, challenge over. Prove that we could do it. I'm actually looking for, the hardest start that you could survive if you really did everything right, which I don't think we did, kind of thing. Like, put a set of criteria on yourself that say, within these rules, could you do it? Like, I don't want to fail, but I'm like, it's almost like if I succeed, I would almost make it harder the next time just to see if, that much more challenging was the hardest start. I haven't heard of anyone else coming up with any idea that's harder than this, in a sense, without being just like impossible, So no, we are not selling electricity. And until we build the gravel road, yes, by the way, if we build the gravel road all the way up there, I would then sell electricity. But remember, we decided we didn't have enough money, so in the last episode, we just built the little power lines up to here. because we realized we probably weren't going to have enough money at that point to build the power lines all the way up to there. So if we could build the road, that could be another way to try to restart. It's saying, look, the heck with building all this stuff. We're just going to plow ahead with a road, and then we're going to build the power lines, big power lines alongside the road, right? And then once that was done, we would just start selling power. That I would consider legitimate, within my own rules. These aren't anything that anybody else needs to follow if they don't want to, just within the bounds that I had kind of set in the beginning. So yes, that would be completely valid. And you are right, Gas Mask. If you, in a regular challenge, if you could sell the electricity, that's definitely the way to go. Okay, so I'm trying to catch up and I'm a few chats back. So XL2SO, because the trucks keep on going even when they don't have any fuel. Well, they won't. Apparently, they'll just stop dead wherever they ran out of fuel, but you can send them back to the depot. That was Nee said, send them back to the depot. Oh, look, we got more construction to assign. Let me slow this down. Let me get that done. So in other words, what I'm thinking of is, we send this truck up there. He runs out of fuel, right? And when he runs out of fuel, we have a depot here. Really? You're going to work on that little... Okay. Go work on that little tiny thing. And then I send him back to this depot. He'll get fuel from here, and then we'll just make sure... Because he'll make it the rest of the way from there, right? Like, he just won't make it all the way from Revergrad. So... What do you guys think? I mean, we're low on money, but I think it's worth trying to put a depot there. Spoiler alert, the gas station near the oil marker is not enough. The truck will stop near the border on his way back. Yes, I agree. Because again, this is the way you increase the difficulty in this game. Almost, of course, hitting the hard difficulty when you do the start settings, Pietro, I'm responding to your chat, is to start far away from the border. So is this the hardest way you can start the game? But if you just sell power right away, like, you could just pay for rubles to connect the power line in the very beginning to a power plant, and you can make enough money that you could survive, if that makes sense. Yes, Gas Bass. That's sort of the whole point, and hopefully the fun of it for everybody. I know Nee really gets into this challenge. And when if you guys have heard me complain about like why leveling's easier, look, I don't care how everybody else plays it. I want it to be a real challenge. I want it to be blood, sweat, and tears when I do this. I just find that fun. Once you get to know the mechanics of the game, look at my regular series. I think we're getting up to like $3 million. This game's really not that hard, it's enjoyable to build things and watch your little guys go around. It's a fun game, but it's sort of like Skitty Skylines until you do something like this, like starting in the middle. And you even see people do that with other games like City Skylines, where they put themselves under a set of constraints to try to make it harder, So there you go. So I hope that answers that. So yes, we could have built it near the town. And that's what we did when you think about what I did with my regular series, I said, you know what, I'm not going to start right near a Soviet town, which is kind of easy because you sell things for rubles. I'm going to start over here, just so you know where we're at on our map. This Znotov, this is in Portska on my regular series. So we're just... this is where we're at relative to it. This is basically where Revergrad is. But I said, well, look, I'm going to start over here where you only get American dollars. So, it's a challenge to get built all the way up to Molna before you ran out of, and that is, by the way, remember, this is where Lumbriska is, right? So it was a challenge to build up to Molna before we ran out of rubles to buy vehicles. And then that got me to thinking, well, wait a minute, what if I started in the middle of the map? I don't know about playing on the regular map live, other than if, okay, at some point I'm going to probably end the regular series, but I could see myself doing that for like just neat building projects and stuff. Like, I like these challenges, and to be honest, like the regular map is getting to be the point where I've got it set up enough, even though my systems aren't all great. I mean, I'm just making money. It's kind of getting a little bit boring for me. I mean, it's fun in a different way. I mean, I don't always have to have a challenge in life, but, you know, anyway, I think you guys get the idea. Yes, and I did want to talk to you about. I'm glad you're here. Like the problem that I have with it is most of the time I wake up at like 4 or 5 in the morning, and I actually do this before work. So I sort of record half of the regular episode, and then I go work, and then I come back, and then in the evening I'll like finish it up, and then I'll put it out. That's why like that one video got delayed when I lost power. Because I'd actually made the whole thing in the morning, but I didn't have a chance to process it, and then then I lost power. So by the time I got it back on Saturday, that one video was late. So it's kind of tough. And then the other thing is I don't want to mess up. Like I'm not always the kind of person that watches people's live streams, and I know that you guys are. So I know that there's people that are going to expect the regular series to contain, like, I can't stand when I'm watching a regular series and then some guy goes and does a 3-hour live stream, and it kind of, oh, well, by the way, I did all this stuff in my live stream. It's like, well, I don't want to watch your live stream. I want to watch your regular series. So I don't know what you guys think about that. But anyway, I need to get up here because I don't think this thing's going to take long at all. No, we need one truck. Do we have any people there yet? No. Where's our busload of people? Anyway, so let me see what I can do, Nino. If things slow down a little bit, I would definitely. Well, no, I can't. XLS2. I can't build. I can't level. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. I will try, Nino and Pietro. I have no opposition to it. I just don't want to mess up the regular series. And the other thing is like, you were absolutely right when you made the suggestion, Nino, that it would be a good thing to do for certain segments, right? Like, oh, you're just doing a whole bunch of construction between here and there. That would be a great time, I think, to do the live stream. The problem is that may hit on a Wednesday, right? Where I don't have the time to do 3 hours in a day unless we did it in the evening, like my time. So it would be, like 3 in the morning, your time. It wouldn't be as good a time for everybody else type thing. So anyway. But we'll look, I will definitely see if I can't kind of gear things towards maybe a Saturday or a Sunday where we could do the regular series, without messing up the other one too much, Yes, I'm definitely trying to make this a little bit of a different extra challenge that everybody can kind of participate and just learn about the limits of the game. Oh, we don't have any workers, and that's such a small little thing. Okay, great. All right, so we need to put the bus back on here, which is fine because we've kind of... Oh, you know what? We need to get somebody out of here. Who do we want out of here? We don't need a bulldozer in there, do we? So let's get the bulldozer out of there. And let's get... I don't know which vehicle I have open. I don't want to send the wrong one. All right, so we're going to send you over to here. All right, so now we have a bus in there, which is fine because we really kind of needed the bus anyway. And let's head back here. So oh no, well, it's look, it's kind of funny because when you do the YouTube videos, you hear people say certain, like YouTubers, you hear them say certain things, and it's, well, we're like a community. It's not just what I want. It's obviously, like you said the other, or like Rever, or like when, sorry, let me slow down. Now I can't think of his name, even though I know his name. That's terrible. Anyway, someone said last week, well, you're the guy with the clicker. Well, yeah, I'm the guy with the YouTube channel, but it's really about, kind of a combination of what people enjoy, what I can do. In some ways it's mostly about me, but it's really about everybody too, and I can understand why people say and feel that way. So just so you know, Pietro, it's, whatever's reasonable. I enjoy playing games, and I enjoy you guys, your company, and doing these kind of things. I'm glad everybody's enjoying the regular series, that's it. That's what it really is about. Yes, and Nee, this you're right. This is the reason for the live stream is it's about a discussion with everybody and seeing what's possible, and I know not everybody can be here on a Saturday, so that's why I make sure it goes up. People can watch it. I think that's, you caught up with the whole series, Nee, and tried things on your own, and it's sort of about pushing it to its limits in some ways, maybe. All right, so let's get some people here already. Oh, we have had it on slow mode, which is probably fine because. All right, what is this guy doing open? Is that our bulldozer that I just had? Yeah, there's the bulldozer parked. Do we have? Is that our bus? No. Good. Means our bus is probably up. Yeah, here he comes. All right, hurry up, bus. We're down to $94,000. So I'm not hearing. Let me go back to the chats for a second. Okay, Steve, I think I didn't miss anybody's chats. You know, I'm going to miss your chats once in a while, but I don't think I did recently. Um, and Steve, yeah, I kind of feel that way when I watch other people that, the live stream's sort of a separate thing, kind of, but there's a lot of time in my regular series that I don't actually show you guys. And I know some people want to see more of that construction-y kind of back and forth, kind of like we do here. So I appreciate that, and I respect that opinion. Come on. We can get, oh, you know what? We could have signed this, couldn't we? Yes. Let's get that assigned, too. No, I mean, you guys see the number of viewers. This is really, I think it's tough to get people to watch your channel. Like, just because you're good at it, it doesn't mean that, I mean, unless you're just exceptional, which I don't think I am. There's other guys with far better personalities, and just, I think they come across, I don't know. I mean, I enjoy watching Sips and Colonel Failure. I mean, I think those guys are really, personally, they're like two of my favorite that play games. They really have a knack for it, for the YouTube thing, or the Twitch streaming, or whatever they do the most. But thank you, Pietro, and I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. And you know what? I don't ever need to be a huge YouTube star or anything like that. I enjoy making the videos for the most part. I mean, sometimes it can get a little bit old, but I just enjoy the whole doing it. It adds a little more challenge to the whole thing, right? So, like, in other words, like, you don't have to just think about what you would do. You have to think of things to say, and you have to, kind of plan things out that much more. So it's when it came to why I was making farm sim videos, in part it was because I started it for a certain reason, but then my reason became, it kind of added a whole new angle to the game. You had to think through, okay, I'm going to farm this field and then show this, and then what am I, you had to be more strategic about it. Oh, Colonel? Yeah, he's not. Yeah, exactly. I think I'm not a very silly person. I mean, I can definitely be silly. I can definitely be humorous. I think I have a decent sense of humor, but like those guys have a whole. I don't know whether that's the way they really are or if it's their YouTube shtick. I think Sips is pretty straightforward in the way he does things. Like, I don't think he tries to be overly silly. But yeah, the Colonel Failure is definitely, at least, I hope he doesn't run around and act like that in real life. Let's put it that way, right? You'd think he was a lunatic. But hey, he's got a great sense of humor and he's a funny guy. So what do you guys think? Road Depot? Need to flatten the train? Can I even flatten the train up here? I need an excavator. So XL2S, I forgot your comment, kind of, even though I had read it. See, this is the reason I can't I can't make my road straight because I don't have a construction office that's close enough. All right, the chats are coming kind of quick for me. Oh yeah, Steve, this is me. I mean, there's no. Yeah, I try to be upbeat and positive. Like, in other words, I guess at some point, like some days, most of the time I'm that way anyhow. This is me. It's not an act. But some days I have to admit, like, I wasn't feeling all that great before I set out to make that video. But then, you kind of, I guess, like what a waitress does at work, right? A waitress who goes to a restaurant, they're not going to be all miserable with customers, and I'm not going to be miserable. Or if I'm feeling a little tired, you try to put on, a bit of a smiling face for people, So it's similar like that, but it's still me. It's not an act. Yeah, I like British dry sense of humor. I'm not sure which one you're talking to, but the Colonel Failure, I think is he, especially with this game, he really did. You know what? I need to pause because I'm losing track. Let's focus on the game for a second here. And let me go get my construction office because I think we need to be building a gas station here ASAP, don't we? No, we are. So what is wrong? Oh, there we go. I was supposed to remember to turn these back on, huh? So I think just 2 people will be enough. Yeah, I had a feeling something bad was happening there. See, you play this game enough, you start to get an intuition for there should be somebody coming up here delivering something. And it comes from just checking things a lot too. But you do have to. This game is a killer for like one little stupid thing you do. Could just. I mean, you really have to have a lot of ducks in a row to get this thing going. So, all right, so there we go. Now I even forget what we were saying. But anyway, yeah, this is me. There's no great act or anything. Not other than, like I said, other than what you might act when you go to church on Sunday, or if you are a waiter or waitress, you might put on a smiling face for a customer, even though that particular day you're not feeling it. All right, I'm going to build a depot here since I didn't hear anybody scream at me. No, that's the worst idea. But I can't build it because I can't level this. Okay. Yeah, see, I think I'm going to be able to get it. I didn't really want to create another road node, but let's put them as close to this guy as we can. I guess it doesn't matter at this point, does it? Okay, gas mask, I have no idea. Colonel Failure has to fulfill his name. Yeah, that's exactly. It's. Look, I'm not picking on anybody who puts on a persona and an act for YouTube, right? This is entertainment for everybody. It's, it's when you guys sit down to watch me, it's in some ways not that much different than if you were watching anyone else on TV or whatever. I mean, you're interacting at this moment with a live person, but if you're just talking about regular YouTube episodes, so I think the YouTube is different than the live streamers. I think we need to assign that. It's assigned. Okay. We got that. Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah, everybody has their niche. And mine is just, well, go out and be yourself. you know, if people like it. Here's the other thing about me. I don't know. Those other guys may be making their living off of this. I'm not. I don't ever intend to. Look, it's not to say that if it didn't happen, yeah, sure, that would be. Who wouldn't want to play video games for a living? If you're me, well, my mom probably wouldn't. But, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people I know probably would like to do that. But I'm not worried about the money with it. It's just like what we're doing here. If we can all sit down and enjoy it, and if you guys can enjoy it, I'd like to share it with you guys. If there's things I know about a game, I'm far more likely to make a series that's more challenging like this. Let's take a look. Than something that's not. Something that we can all learn from, like you can learn from Nee has been great. She has been on top of every little thing I do wrong. But that's great because it's how you get better. I mean, some of the best teachers I ever had, were on top of every little thing I did wrong, right? And then I learned to do it better. So, and she's been testing the map out ahead of us or just for her own enjoyment. I am 47. Do I need to fire up the concrete plant as well? Actually, I think I did. I think I might have slipped it past you. But yes, I think I got both. I think you just might have missed it real quick there. Yeah, I don't mind name and age. Yeah, Mike is my real name. It's fine. It's for those who don't want the mystery, and I can appreciate wanting to know me better, but at the same time, it's. And again, look, Pietro, you seem like a really decent person. The only issue that I have is that you share your information online, and I don't look. I have that whole other separate computer. The computer I do my accounting on is not plugged into the internet. You know what I'm saying? There's just too much stuff that people put out there and it just burns them. And too many thieves in the world that are going to look to get your information in any which way you can. And who knows, I may say something one day to tick somebody off and then they figure out, oh, I'm going to go get that guy. So if you know Mike 47 from Pennsylvania in the United States, there's about 10 million, not 10 million, there's a whole lot of them. Good luck finding me at that point, right? But anyway, it's fine. So I'm reasonably young. I'm not, I don't know how, some days I think when you get into your 40s, you start feeling your age a little bit. I don't feel so young every day, but I'm certainly not an old man at this point. You're only as old as you think you are or feel, right? Look at me. I'm still playing video games. Many of my friends either quit them years ago or whatever. And I don't know. Just enjoy the life you have. Who cares how old you are? You have no way to stop it. So how are we doing? We're finally getting some vehicles up here. Oh, you know what? I need to put it on fast forward. Sorry, guys. Well, here, you know what I'm a little bit amazed about is that even though we're on the path to destruction, we are still alive. And I mean, it's over 2 hours into it. So I think what I'm going to say is one way or the other, I'm going to keep this stream going. Even if I have to take a little break at some point, we're going to keep the stream going to at least get if that sounds all right with you guys. I don't want to push anybody too late or whatever. To at least see that we get some trucks delivering and get a little bit of a resolution, because, you know, we're so close to the wire that if we're going to come back next week and do this, I would want to know if we're going to restart it or what we'll do. Maybe now that there's a whole, you know, group of you guys that are generally doing this, we can just restart from complete scratch. Like when we started the series, it was with me having placed all this stuff, you know, like the starter stuff, so to speak. So maybe we could talk about from the very scratch, like let's start a map with the hardest challenge and everybody participates in exactly even how we lay it out. Like we could change this layout to be more efficient maybe. But let's see, I don't want to quit this one until we're dead, right? Because here's the big thing that we have going for us. And I don't know if you guys, I know I've mentioned it in the regular series. If you look, the only thing this is really that useful for, we are making, are we making money? No, we're losing money because we're using up some construction stuff. Our citizens we're eating up a lot of fuel right now. But we're not, and by the way, part of the reason we're not making money where we were before is because we're probably ground to a halt in our food production. So if we can start getting some food going, I think we're actually making more wealth than we're spending each month, as long as we don't go crazy with building a bunch of stuff, right? All right, let me... I'm reading some of the text here just to catch up with you guys. Do you guys mind me saying that, or should I just be quiet and read the text? You tell me, because I don't want to be annoying saying I'm reading the text. If I go quiet, I don't want you guys to think I don't know, in the Bahamas. All right, there we go. We can start building a gas station. You know what? I'm going to open up this construction thing and just leave it open for a few minutes while we're up here. How is our population? Oh, we're down to 135. Oof. All right, so let's come here and... So we still have the switch and this road, I think, going. And the switch has what in it? Okay, the switch needs its next round of stuff, so that's good. So the only thing we need is like one gravel truck. So I think it's fine to come up here and start the gas station. You know what? No. We're not going to do that. Cancel. We're not going to do that because if you put this gas station in and there's no power to it, then they all want to go there, and then yet they can't. But we should be able to reach this guy now. So let's get the power in first. Can I get to the... I can't click on the power lines. Uh-oh. Oh, there it is. Now, I clicked on it, but I wasn't. Oh, you know what? I think I can do... Is that... No. All right, you know what? I'm going to leave that open for a minute. Let's make sure we can get that selected. There it goes. All right, good. All right, so we'll get all of this power stuff hooked up before we start building these things. We'll get this little road in anyway. All right. Yeah, I don't know. How much are we... Yeah, that is about a second, isn't it? You are right, Nee. We probably have about 89,000 seconds of playing left. Unfortunately, we'll actually buy some fuel or something for a truck, and I would imagine we're going to lose it. Because you think, we started out with over 200, right? I kind of forget a little bit, but I'm pretty sure it was like 200 and some, and in 2 hours and some minutes, we've spent over half of it. So let's see. I'm not going to drag it out forever because if nothing else, you know, my voice starts to get a little bit tired, and And it gets to be a bit much. I've mentioned that in other live streams, so yeah, I don't want to make it painful. But this one, let's just see if we can't get to the point we at least send trucks up there, or maybe run out of money, or at least know we're going to fail, right? But I don't know. I don't know that we're going to fail. All right, let me read some comments again. Yes. Now, well, I don't know when you asked the question, XL2S, but here's our construction office, and I just assigned all this electrical stuff so we can get the electricity up here first. We're building the little road here into the road depot. And hopefully what we can do with the road depot, if you guys aren't following, I'm going to send him, you know what, I might as well send him up there now, right? Let's see if he makes it with the, because let's get him up there. He'll run, even if he runs out of fuel, then I can enact my plan immediately. All right, so what I want to, let me set him up with a proper course. So I want him to be a food truck. So let me add a new stop here. Let's delete that one, which, I don't know. All right, there's Molna. So we're going to click on Molna. Then we are going to say load things, don't unload. And I just want you to load food. For now, that's fine. We might send them up with alcohol combined, but combined seems to jam itself up quite a bit. I want to put them on weight, and there we go. So we have our third attempt, and this will be the attempt that says, do we get further? It should be, he went to the food factory last time, so I'm not even going to mess with that. Does he get further now that he has gravel roads to go on? Oh, Gas Mask, are you heading out? Take care. Or, oh no, wait, I'm sorry. Pietro, you're heading out. Yes, Pietro, thank you for coming again. I look forward to your comments during the week and whatnot. Yep, see, take care. Have a good night. Yes, we will send alcohol. Absolutely will be the first top priority. Food is a benefit too, because I'm backed up on food. We're not producing food, where the alcohol factory, I think, is still making alcohol. It might have backed up as well, but yeah, sorry, Gasman. I looked up and I saw the buy, and then then it took me a second or two to look up and see Pietro. You were just saying goodbye to someone else. Gotcha. Yeah, that's why I tried to make the time. This is why we're doing it on Saturday, because I realized quite a few of you guys are from Europe, and like Steve is from the central time zone in America. So I tried to pick a time that we would all, have a chance of meeting up as best we can. And then of course there's, I don't know, Nee, you said your name was Thai. Are you in Thailand or? I'm not trying to pry. You don't have to even tell me. But if, again, I can't accommodate everyone in the world. But it seemed like, I didn't want to exclude people in Europe, of course. So, and then I think when we were doing the 5 o'clock at night, it sort of excludes people on the west coast of the United States. Not that I've heard from too many of them, but. Listen to Steve. Send out. Oh, yes, I am. I will. But here's the thing. Alcohol is still producing. No, it didn't stop it. It's just the warehouse is full of food. But alcohol is still storing. Yes. I'm not sure how to say your name correctly, but Mudhaldin, maybe? Hope that's close. No, I'm almost certainly going to be gone in about maybe a little more than a half hour. Like I said, I want to see that we're like it's usually 3 hours from like 2 to 5. And Haladine, or can I call you Mood for the moment until you confirm that or not? I will answer your question in a minute. No, so usually this is like 2 to 5. I want to try to keep it to 3 hours. If I do more than that, it just personally starts to wear on me. It's like enough, like I need a kind of a break after that. And so, but this one might go a little bit longer. The concept behind this, and I would encourage you maybe to you're kind of catching up on, like after several live streams where we do the same thing, but we're just now, this truck is trying, will be the first thing that we've sold. We try to start in the middle of the map with some other rules that are in the description about not just selling power and whatnot. Okay, from EU. Okay, so you're Europe time too. Good. So this works out for you, I hope. Good, good. So good. I'm like I said, it seems like a good time for anyone in the United States and Europe, which is going to be most of the English speakers in the world, right? So I know there's a lot of other people who speak English, but that'll cover a lot of us anyway. Probably best I can do anyway. So the idea is to create the hardest starting conditions that you can that are possible. So in other words, starting in the middle of the map with certain rules, like we can't just build power lines or construction without having first built a gravel path to that location. So I'm keeping an eye on our electric substation, which I should get back down to that. But, so this is actually the first truck. We can send trucks out on the dirt road, which is proving to be not very efficient. This guy's going to make it. Oh, no, he's just to no fuel. Just so you guys know, because I don't know if you could, he's got 110 liters of fuel left. I think he definitely has more fuel than he had before. Hello, Patrick. Welcome. So, guys, by the way, this is a very dramatic moment in what is otherwise, no offense to myself, but a little bit boring, I think, at times. This is the first truck that we've actually exported in, I think, 12 hours of gameplay. Getting close to that, 11 hours, I think we're probably up to. Right? Or no, we restarted after the first one. This is the 5th, so 8 hours. We're over 8 hours of having played the map. And I think, he's got 42 gallons, or I'm sorry, I'm an American, liters of fuel left. Wish it was gallons because that's more. He's going to make it. We're going to sell something, guys. Adding those gravel roads made it so he could make it. And the reason that that's such a fine moment for us is because we just have no money coming in. Like we started, again, we started basically with Matt's too. So he's on his way back with no fuel, or did he run out of fuel and stop? Yeah. So you know what? I'm just going to leave him there. Well, see, now the problem, yeah, okay. Well, we're going to work out the issues with, okay. Let me get my thoughts straight around this and do one thing at a time. Read some chats. What do you mean? Can you say to us, what is your name when you say it in English? What is that? What do you mean? All right, so I am going to assign this guy a little more work to do because he's got these other things done. And they should definitely get that finished before we get our gas station in, right? Yeah, he didn't deliver alcohol. Would have been a little bit better. But you know what? That's an interesting thing. You can get, I think it makes sense, and I'm not totally surprised, but you can definitely get further on gravel paths than dirt paths. You do get more gas mileage, or it's what we'd call it here in America, more kilometers per liter. You can get further on a tank of gas going on the gravel road, probably because you're going faster. So, that would make some sense. Yes, we will survive. Well, we might survive. I think it's going to take some micromanagement. And why not? We can. Well, see, here's the problem we run into now. This is going to be the kind of dumb thing we have to do. Now, how many trucks do we have in here? I'm not going to take that covered hull out of there just yet. But let's buy another covered hull, because I think that's... I mean, we might want to keep a couple dump trucks around, but let's get another covered hull. The biggest one, 7.2 tons of crops, 4.5, 6.5 alcohol. So let's... So that guy, here's the thing. That guy stopped on the other side of the road. So I think we could get an alcohol truck up there. And instead of going to here, I'm going to send him to here. All right, and then let's take them. Oops, I got lost because I wasn't paying enough attention. Don't move around the map and try to look at the chat at the same time. All right, so we're going to unload alcohol. And he's not going to make it. He's going to, well, maybe he will. There's another question. No, he's carrying the same amount of weight in alcohol. See, like if he tries to, if they were to try to take 10 tons of crops up there, would they not make it as far because they were carrying more weight? This was our first attempt to get one up there, only made it this far. The second attempt with a little bit of paved road directly from Revergrad. But the problem with this guy is he's going to get up there. He's going to get, you know what I should do is when he starts, does he have, yeah, he has alcohol. Oh, he is going right from Revergrad. Oh, never mind. Oh, yeah, you know what? But here's what's going to happen. And this is the kind of micromanaging we're going to need to do. He's going to run out of gas, and then he's going to want to go to here. But we don't want him to go to there. So I think I'm going to send him back to the depot. Right? Even though that's going to mess up the course, nice course. So, like, in other words, he's going to run out of fuel, go back to the depot. Instead of going up here, which messes him up, we'll get him to make his first fuel stop before he actually heads out on his first run, right? Like, in other words, he's just about out of fuel. So what I'm going to do is, like, say, now cancel going to the depot. Just because it worked out that way. And then here he comes. See, he's coming back down here. He's going to get fuel. And then he's going to turn around and head right back up there. Yes. Absolutely good idea, I think, Steve, about getting the warehouse into the new outpost here. I think that shuttling this stuff up here could certainly make a lot of sense. The only thing I'll say for the moment, and am I still assigning constructions? Yes. Okay, so the gas station is assigned. They don't have any errors. I'm just not seeing anybody. Nobody seems to be doing much there at the moment, but that's okay. So now he should make it. And how much does he have in alcohol? 2,800. It doesn't sound like much, but it's something. You know, it's actual income, which for us is just a little bit important. So what are you? Oh, you're the broke down food guy. But see, he's broke down on coming the other way. So I'm okay with that. Like, so even if he messes this guy should pass him anyway, I think. I don't think he's blocking the whole road, is he? All right, let me read some chats here. Yes, we will definitely consider a shuttle. Yeah, you know what? Now that we have this depot, he's absolutely right. We should build a warehouse here. Because if we build a warehouse to shuttle stuff up to here, then we could shuttle it the rest of the way. Problem solved. And that's really not a bad idea either for, like, the next gas station. You know, then what we could do is like another shuttle run up to say here. Would take well, you know, it really wouldn't even take any more trucks, really. No, that's an excellent idea, Steve, with the warehouse thing there. That's what does everybody else think about that? I see Nee gave you a LOL. I'm not sure if that was laugh out loud or lots of love. Okay. Is there something wrong with the chat? Let me see if I click on it. Nope. Something happened anyway. So when you say beeline, yeah, like they don't go forward, they go backwards. Whatever the closest one, period, end of story. Where is this guy with his 300 tons of fuel? Or not tons, 300 liters of fuel. Well, I think he should make it. I think they'll all make it. So at least what I'm hoping to do, I think we could, we could survive. We have a few bucks there, so. Well, there's one of the rules is no. Well, it's also more expensive, and if you look, we're really down to the last dollar. So I wouldn't recommend much manual construction for. You're just not going to survive if you try to do this challenge and don't do manual construction. But just so you know, this is about the middle of the map. When you start out the map, and I actually timed it out. Like it's, I don't know of any other real good way of measuring it, but I actually said, I looked at the timer, like the second hand on my clock, and I said, okay, and I just started heading this direction. And it takes about the same amount of time. So when they drop you into the map, this is also right where you spawn, just so you know. When you open up a new map. So I just basically figured more or less, close enough. This is the middle of the map. Start out with dollars because you have to build a certain amount of stuff with dollars if you're even going to stand a chance of making it. So we had to build a little town where we had people, and we had to build this basic, just like here and here, not this stuff we build afterwards. So I built a power plant with dollars so that we would have power, so that we don't have any outside connection to anywhere in the world. One of the other rules is that you can't build anything any place without having built a gravel road to it. So in other words, a little bit of an exception for this power line, because you can build that power line from here, just like you could build big power lines straight up to Molna or some place to make money from here, right? And so that's a little bit the problem solved, right? So to make it a little bit harder, we can build a power line coming up if we wanted to, but we have to build the gravel road as we build the power line switches and stuff like that, Oh, good. Good. That would be good to build tunnels. I don't think we have enough money for tunnels. Oh, look at that. Just took a big drop down. Oh, let's take a look. Did he make it? Here he comes. Our second truckload ever. Okay. Yes, in the regular series, we have some bucks, and what just so you guys know, I don't know exactly what's coming in the regular series, but I'd like to sort of finish up, for the last weeks in the regular series, it's, the last 10 episodes or so at least, it's been just a lot of rail construction, and I sort of want to, there he goes. So he's going to sit there because the other guy's blocking his way. I don't know why he wouldn't just drive around them. They drive around slower vehicles, but they won't drive around a stopped one, I guess. Okay, no problem. in any event, so we just made a few extra bucks, which is nice. And once this is done, I think I'll send these guys. Yeah, I'll send these guys down to here. Hopefully they drive down there, come back, and then come back to this gas station and get themselves in a nice pattern, you know? Yeah, we'll definitely make a tunnel. And I guess what I was getting at in my long-winded way was to say, yes, let me get some of the like Chemsol done, and we'll get, like the plastics factory at least kind of started up, but then we'll have a nice planning series because I want to do some big time planning with going over to the new Revergrad, and we can talk about a better name for it, even though it probably should in that series, give some kind of a nod to the greatness of the leader of the country, much like many of the Grads did in Soviet Russia. Sure, we can look at the financials. I don't know about Patrick. I didn't really think about what would happen to the old Revergrad. Certainly, I think that I would move more towards. Here, let me slow down because I'm talking so much. Let me get my bearings here. I would move more towards centralized production of things. Like Revergrad was kind of its, it was really like the starter city. So maybe we would tear down parts of Revergrad and make over by the export area, the Importska. Like we would make that something a little more friendly towards, importing and exporting. And then we do have all those farm fields there, so maybe we could make it like the vodka capital or something like that. Or maybe the meat producing area. It's probably, I'd be more likely to do that than. But yes, I think any of the original cities, I would certainly be prone to rebuilding. However, I would want to see what they add to the game next. Like, before I did too much tearing apart and rebuilding, if I did that in there, I would want to know, like, are they upping the pollution, or is loyalty now a big thing that you need to account for? So we need more buildings that would allow for, loyalty to be better. Oh, okay, Steve, I'm sorry. When you say my financials, let's take a look at this month, last month. We sold the one trip in 1 month and one in the other one. So last month, only selling the 1,000, we were negative 11,000 total. But that's also having bought the covered haul. So we were down 5,000. This month so far, not having bought any vehicles, we are up 1,700 so far. So I have a feeling construction will kill that, but no, I think even though it's a knife's edge, I mean, with some true micromanagement, we have all the stuff for our gas station. Is this guy going to ever get built? Yeah, we got some people on there. You know what? We're in slow mode. Oh yeah, well, even if you guys watch the regular series, there is a dot. I'll show it maybe. Well, like I said, as soon as I get done, and the construction on Chemsol is actually well on its way in tomorrow's episode, and so is I'll give you guys a sneak peek, but I think it's called, I forget what I called the episode exactly, but it's something along like mechanical components. So we're doing construction in both Oil Chaw, which is where the oil field is there, where we have the plastics factory and that stuff we laid out the other episode. And then we're progressing nicely with Chemsol at the same time. So within the next couple episodes, those will be done, maybe even Yeah, so probably within 2, 3 at the most episodes, that'll be settled out, and then that'll be it. We'll be kind of caught up on that construction explosion that I was sort of hoping to get caught up on. All right, why do I have this guy open? We don't need him open anymore. So, Mood Haladin, and again, I'm probably saying that wrong. I apologize. Is, and again, is Mood fine? I don't know if you have a nickname. But anyway, did I explain in all of that rambling well enough the starting conditions? And they're sort of in the comment. Again, the description of the live stream kind of sets it out semi well, I think. Yeah, I really don't want that gas station to get finished too much faster than that. Oops. Did I go past it? Yeah, here it is. Now, I did build the power plant with, I mean, you have to have electricity for like things to function. But the very first time I started this map, I actually built a power line from Molna all the way down to Revergrad, and it was like basically it became like too easy at that point, right? So then I said, well, I wanted to be like, when you think about it, we're kind of starting as self-sufficiently as we can. So then I said, well, because here's the thing, that's what it was. You know, one of the first things you want to do on any map, in my opinion, one of the best things you can do is get a power plant going, because it's going to save you so much money. Maybe you could argue food is a good one. I mean, there's a lot of ways you could do it, but certainly getting a power plant going is a great way to start any map. So I built a power plant. Well, I already had my connection built. I just started selling power, and it's like, well, that's not very challenging. Like, I'm making money. I wanted something that would take us 8, 10, 12 hours to the point where we would even start making a buck or two, Like, in other words, once we feel like we're not self-sufficient in the sense of making everything, but once we're making money, then I consider, was this really the hardest start? Like, I would almost want it to be where we would fail as proof, like, okay, we can do it this way, and we could have done it better. Nee has done it better than I have. Mood, okay, good. Mood is fine, good. I read that. Nee has done it better when she's restarted it at least once or twice, it sounds like, and done things more efficiently, things that we've learned. So I think we could possibly put a few more rules on ourselves, or maybe find a little bit of a harder challenge that's possible to do. Like, that's sort of the goal of this series, is that we as a group, figure out what that is. And like Nee said in a comment not too long ago, it's more about the discussion of things as much as anything else. It's, sort of about learning about a game we all enjoy. And, there's some things that you would do here that you probably wouldn't do if you're just auto building on easy mode, And to me, this is like the way this game is meant to be played, on the harder mode where you're building things manually. Otherwise, it's just like another City Skylines, right? Like, what really separates this game out, in my opinion, is the fact that it's, that it is all this construction and certain difficulty with that, What did Nee say about the trucks? I'm sorry. I was thinking about that, but I wanted to send them back to this depot. So what do you guys think? So there's, by the way, we also tend to vote on things, even though, of course, I'm the guy with the clicker. And if I don't get much feedback, I kind of do what I want. But, do you think we should try to just send the trucks back and do another run? Or do we want to start, that certainly makes sense to me. Or do we want to try to send them to this depot? We have money enough that we're not, it's not going to kill us to do that. Though, again, it would be nice to get the food fired back up, right? we're still making alcohol, so we're not wasting effort towards making alcohol, but it would be good to get the food going. Yeah, and Patrick, just so you know, the other streams are available. They're quite a bit to watch. There's 3 hours at a pop, so it's like ask me. I think she was saying she was doing it in 1.25 times replay, which makes sense. Okay, everybody seems to be back for another delivery. Okay, no problem. At least nobody's yelling no, don't do that. All right, so where are you guys? Let's select these two, and since I have this, I should be able to bounce right down there. Nice. Yeah, I really wish they would put a favorites. One of my biggest things that I've been thinking about is, like, I wish I could click on this building, hit a little star up here or something, and it would add it to a list of favorites. And I don't care. I mean, it would have to have the name, but it would just have this boom, and you'd be able to zoom right in on that spot, So, like, if I wanted to follow what these two vehicles were doing, but I didn't want the thing open all the time, I could have it on a favorites, boom, and we'd go back to that truck, which was really stupid because now I'm way far away from the city. Sorry. But you get the idea. So hopefully they'll add some things like that in the future. All right, so anyway, let's send these guys back to the depot instead of talking. How's that sound? There we go. Good. All right, so they're on their way back. When they get to the depot, they lose their darn... I'd be curious to see if we can't catch them. Let's try to keep an eye out for them. And we'll try to keep an eye out for them coming back. Oh, now this guy, let me make sure he didn't... Did he... No, okay. Once they're... This guy wasn't actually out of fuel. Imagine the dust that guy's eating. Look at that. Anyway. Sorry, I completely just... I thought maybe if he ran out of fuel, he might stop going back to the depot, but he didn't. So, yeah. So, okay. So those guys are on their way. How is our little construction going? Oh, good. We have power. Good. I didn't want this gas station to get done before that. All right, so how are we doing here? What is going on? No workers or mechanism. Okay, well, we should have a bus. Yep, there comes the bus. Good. So we'll just focus on getting the gas station going, then we'll get this road depot going. And what that will let me do is when they run out of fuel, depending on how all this works out, I can send them back to this one. They would refuel here, and then make sure they get back on their way to Molna where they can definitely make it, right? So even if this is completely inefficient, at least we'll be able to micromanage the heck out of it and make that happen. Okay. Okay. Stop the send to depot. Yes, stop. I know what you're saying. We have to keep an eye out for these guys. So let's keep an eye on them this way. Yeah, when they get near the city, don't let them actually go to the depot where they lose their routes. And that way I don't have to set up the same route every time. Yeah, it's not the world's most impressive convoy, but I'm glad that we definitely have a little truck parade of sorts, mini parade. We just have one construction office. So that is what Steve is, or we'll break away from them. They're still a little ways off. So what we've managed to do in all of the hours, I'm thinking we're coming up on 9 hours now or so, is we've managed to build a few corn, fields without doing much leveling, and a little farm. We didn't even build the silo that we might be able to build in the future. And we started on the hardest money, of course. So, and with all the hard settings, so we had to make sure we built a firehouse. And since, oh, you know what, we'll keep an eye on our population is dipping. Okay, well, we're going to ride with it for a minute, but Nee is our population expert. So we will take her advice on whether we should buy more people or more trucks. Like if we buy more people, we won't be able to buy as many trucks to send crops in a minute here. So we built a little gravel thing so that we could not have to spend money on building a gravel road all the way up to Molna. And plus, hey, gravel's a great early game thing to get, right? And then since we had the crops, we built a distillery and we built a food factory, which is another good early thing to get. So we're not paying for food as we get population going. Yeah, and that's pretty much, it sounds like not much, but trust me, there was whole episodes where we got hardly anything done in 3 hours, it felt like. This one's feeling like we're getting a lot done, but we're really not. What do? We built a gravel road. It's 3 hours later. I haven't even, we built the hospital, and we're just now getting to build this gas station after hours of building this gravel road up here. That's it, right? That's what we managed. Is there something I'm missing? No, I mean, all of this was here. Yeah, we built the hospital to get started. We had to finish up the power line, so we did build, the power lines up to here. That was mostly done in this episode. And now we're about to get our gas station. And you, I think, showed up just as we got the very first truck. Oh, you know what? Pay attention. Okay, good. They're close to the city. How close are they? I don't want them to go to this gas station, so I want, like you said, I think they go for a B line, the closest, no matter what direction it's in. So when they get down to here, I'll cancel their go to depot, and they should make another run. Oh, wait. All right, you know what? I'm going to pause it for 1 second. This guy, food guy. I want the food guy not to go to the food factory. I want him to go to the warehouse. Right? And then let's delete the food factory. Tell him to load food. Don't unload that. Okay, good. All right, here they are. I think they're close enough. Let's cancel. Make sure they go to the right places. Yep, they reset themselves. I saw them pause there for a second. They should both come in here after they go get fuel. Boom, boom. So how much fuel? There we go. So, yep, getting another load of food. Which is great because now that we're making food, now do we have... How is food getting to the... Oh, you know what? That wasn't... You know what? Let's get another truck. Because now that this is working... That's the construction office. We'll get another truck. Covered haul. And again, we'll get the one that carries the most food. This guy. Let's close some stuff. So that guy will get stuff out of the warehouse at least for a little while. But then I want you to go from the food factory up to Molna, and we'll have to babysit this guy a little bit, or else he'll make a mess of things. And I do want you to wait in the long run. Start. Let's go keep an eye on him. So what I want him to do now is he's going to go get his load of food. Well, here's the question that I have, Nate, is we're producing food faster than we're producing alcohol. All right, so what I want this guy to do, by the way, is run out of fuel. Not run out of fuel, but I'm going to send him back to the depot so that he goes back and gets fuel from the depot that's closest to the city and not the other one. Oh, no. Is this guy? Yeah, go back. Oh, Bring me up. Yeah, go back to the depot. So hopefully he'll come back without running out of fuel, and then he will do the same thing with him. So here's the question. I am now producing food. I have restarted up the industry of producing food. I think that that might have more value in the long run than selling the alcohol, which we're not making at such a prodigious rate. Like, in other words, it won't take us that long to sell off all this alcohol. But right now, like, as soon as this guy comes back, oops. Oh, you know what? He lost his route. Now he's going to go get gas. Okay. Well, that was my fault. I was talking. Does that make sense? At least that's what I'm thinking. So now what are these guys doing? No, they're well on their way there. Okay. So this guy lost his route. All right. Oops. All right. But now the good thing is that as I give him this route, he now has... Oops. Oh. Guys, I don't know if you can still hear me or not, but my game just crashed. How many minutes ago was that? 3 minutes. Okay, are we back on? Let me go check myself since... Yes, okay, I can see. I don't know if I can hear myself yet, but... Yep, there we go. Let me mute that so it's... Okay, good. Are you... Oop, let me go back to the chat. Alright, so can you guys hear me again? Okay, good. Could you hear me the whole time? I wasn't saying a whole lot, but... Other than maybe... I hope I didn't cuss too much. Alright, so I don't know what just happened. I don't know how far I just missed, right? So this guy's going up from the Revergrad gas station. I don't think we didn't buy that other truck, right? What is this guy? Okay, now the trucks are just leaving wherever, I guess the warehouse. So they're just heading out there now. Let's just check on this guy. Oh, no construction assigned. Does that mean we're done the gas station? Oh, wait. Auto build it. Did we auto build the rest of it? Because that stupid thing is checked whenever you restart the game. Yeah, that, by the way, that just crashed me right to the desktop. So I don't know why. All right, well, those guys are sent on their way. I think we may have auto finished the gas station. And so I guess we should purchase fuel with rubles, just the absolute minimum, right? All right, so there we go. So now let me assign this guy before we get back into that. There we go. So they should start working on this other depot, which will just give us the option that if, depending on how this works out, we'll be able, and it doesn't cost that much to build a depot. We'll be able to send them back to here where we know they'll refuel, right? And then, you know, we could just send them back this way. We know when they get close enough, they'll go to this one for fueling, and then we know they'll make it back up to Molna at that point. Or at that point, I mean, some of them, we'll just see. We'll see how the flow of things goes. Yeah, they search for the next gas station, so hopefully that's ends up being in a good spot that they can get into a groove of going without too much micromanagement. So let's get that truck going, the one that we were trying to. Oh, no, I didn't mean to buy that one. Oof. You know what? We can sell them. I don't want you. Not you. All right, so you, I want to go to the food factory. Yes, the gas station has power. We can double check. But let me go up to Molna real quick. I'll check on the way back. There we go. So I want you to load up. I mean, I probably don't have to do this because I don't see you're getting anything else but food from there. Then the other thing we may want to do, we're going to get him going out of the food factory, but we may want to put them where they go to the warehouse, right? All right, so I'm just going to start you for a minute. And we will double check that gas station power in a second here. All right, so we're going to keep an eye on you, hopefully catch you to get you to refuel back at the city as opposed to up at the farm. And we will click on that. Yep, we have power. So if you take a look, we built this and we have a switch. So when we decide to build the next gas station, which probably won't be in this episode, but if we build another secondary outpost, we would do it, I'm thinking like up in this area. Because again, once we build the roads, we can, but this would really maybe set us in, to having a good supply chain. I think if we had another gas station, this is about another 2/3 of the way up. It would also be a nice place to build a town if you ever decided to, you got a nice flat area by the river. You could build this is where, in the regular series, this is where I have those 24 farm fields and, is up in that area. And this is where the river crosses to go back over that way. Zentanov over there is in the neighborhood of where Revergrad is. This is where we cross the river in Revergrad. So this is, what is it, Prishnik, north and south. So anyway, back to this game. Yeah, money, if you call that good, I could not disagree in the sense that, with the potential, oh, you know what? I'm not paying enough attention. Go back to the depot. I don't want him to run out, go to the wrong place. Yeah, turn around, buddy. And this time I promised to pay more attention and not have to... I don't know what happened there. I clicked on, the food factory or something, and then the next thing you know, it just all died. Yes, gas station... Yeah, actually, a gas station right near the border would work. We might just want to push, knowing how far they can now make it, and knowing, yeah, I mean, one up that way, and just, I don't have any rule against buying power from, at least in my own, silly rules that I make up to make it challenge. I mean, there's no reason we can't buy some power from here, as long as we have a gravel road, right? We can, once we connect to this, we could... The road, just the rule I would have is that we would build the gravel road up to here first. But as long as we could micromanage as much of a pain, these delivery guys. Okay, let me pay attention to this guy so I don't mess him up. Yeah, see, I don't want him to go. Well, he won't go to there. Even if he runs out of fuel, he will come to here. Yeah, the money, as far as you mean, like with finishing up that thing, it didn't. Yeah, it didn't. If it auto finished that, I don't think it did auto. It doesn't. It wouldn't have auto finished it, would it? But yeah, after the crash, everything seems to be back to normal. Other than I think we only missed this one truck here. All right, so I'm going to take him off of cancel, go to the depot. So he should kind of restart, refuel, and head back up there. And in the meantime, what he'll do is he'll get the food factory going. Now, I don't want to restart. I don't know if you guys can see that message or not. Oh, no. Stop. Sorry, guys. I'm having... Windows decided it wants to restart or something. So is this another truck? I don't know what's going on. Why do we only have that much food from here? Oh, did I not switch that guy? I don't know. What is this guy doing? Oh, he's the one that's taking it over to the warehouse. Little by little, filling up the warehouse. I got you. Yeah, so we would definitely... Yeah, so see, this guy... You know what? I changed my mind. I'm going to pause this. I'm going to take some food out of the warehouse, right? I want to get that warehouse empty-ish. I think I missed that in the crash. Let's close that. Load from the warehouse. Go there next. Playtime. Just make sure he turns around. I don't really care that much where he gets the delivery from. But I'd rather this little guy keep doing his rounds and keep... I want to get the food thing fired up. So, that's... I think it's more beneficial, like I was saying, to get that food thing fired up. Which it is right now. Like right now, we're not wasting effort. We are making food. Other than we're kind of full of crops and we need to get more people up there. But that's a whole another topic. Speaking of people, we're down to 120. But I'm also feeling like, we have some money coming in. At some point here, it will be worth buying some extra people. All right, so this guy went to the food warehouse. Or did he? Where is that guy? Is he on his way? That's the corn guy. This is blocking my view. Oh, that's an unfinished road. Yeah. Okay, well, he went to the warehouse, but why does the warehouse still have so much food in it? I don't understand. But anyway, he's going to go sell another $1,300 worth of food. And these two guys, are they on their way? Yeah, they were well on their way, weren't they? Yeah, here they go, trucking along. Let me click on the chat thing again, make sure it's still working. I haven't heard from you guys in a little bit, which is okay, but I just get worried. How as far as, yeah, I think they're going to make it. And I mean, if we have a steady way of importing and exporting, we can take another look at the thing. Let me make sure the stream's still going. Oh. Yeah, I think we're back in business. There we go. Somebody. Yes, exporting anything we once allowed. Here's something else that we figured out, Mood, is that it is going to cost us around $300 per trip. Because we ran out of fuel here, this was 600, I'm sorry, well, the one time we made it to here, but whatever. It's a good measurement in a sense that it cost us a full tank of fuel to get to this point, and that's 0.6 tons we also figured out. So 0.6, which is like real life, apparently. Not something I know about because I'm American, but apparently 1 ton is about 1.1 kilograms, which makes sense. That is something I know in real life. Like, why you guys use tons of fuel, which is an American / English, old English measuring system. Whatever. That's a different debate for a different day. Let's just round it to, 1 ton equals 1,000 liters. To go there and back, it would theoretically cost us 1.2 tons of fuel. 1.2 tons plus a little bit of fudge, right? Because it's not going to be 100% efficient like that. Let's say 1.5 tons. So let's take whatever it costs here to buy or sell, whatever we're going to sell that for, right? So if you take crops and you say, I want to sell, what's the guy called? 10 tons of crops. That's $200 worth of crops. You're going to use more fuel driving it up there than you're going to make selling crops. Did I say that backwards, Patrick? 1.1 thousand, well, liters. I'm sorry. Did I say kilograms? Liters. Just so you know, we went back, and you guys can watch when we did this. Like just once we end the live stream, if you want to go back, I forget, it was probably like an hour and a half in or something. I then like stopped the guy when he was filling up at the gas station. He was practically empty, and noted that it was like 0.6 tons that he used to fill up his 600-gallon tank. So in other words, we kind of confirmed it in the game that 1 ton equals 1,000 liters. So it's, if that makes sense. Yeah, I'm sorry. I probably said kilograms. Steve, what we're going to do with the construction crew is up to everyone. One of my thoughts is that we finished the gravel road, right? That certainly needs to be done. I mean, I'm not sure how far we take this particular map and playthrough. I mean, I personally never intended it to be a continuation. Once we've kind of proven that we could survive, I sort of saw that as the end of what I had intended. Are we? Okay, I assume we're still building on that. So, to me, certainly there's a lot of advantage to building this is going to take about like decades to build that. Or do we build another? I mean, I wouldn't be opposed. Do we build construction offices? It certainly would make sense to, kind of like I did in the regular series. Would we build maybe just a gravel aggregate storage and a construction thing to sort of, maybe we skip one? I mean, again, I don't want to build any buildings without having built the gravel road, but we could certainly put another construction depot somewhere in this neighborhood if we wanted. That's a good idea. Except we would also have to pay for food. How much is food costing us? So if we shut down the food factory, let's just see. Just not to say your idea is bad. Just on the other side of things, we don't really know how much we pay for food. I don't know how much food we're actually using, do we? Well, we can see citizens. Yeah, it's not really. In other words, I guess the only other thing to say is food, besides being sold off, is, and that's, you're absolutely right about we can ramp up, but we can also, by the way, I think we can ramp up the one without closing the other down, right? We can encourage far more workers into here and still keep a few making food, right? So what do we do next? I think that's a question for the next live stream. Again, I don't know that I'm satisfied that we've survived yet, though it does seem this is the second food guy, right? Let's see, where are we? Where are the other guys? Oh, they're still chugging along, but yep, 73 liters of fuel, and he's going to make it. So we have, established at least some means of bringing money in. At least, again, it's not pretty, it's not efficient, but it's money. Yeah, that's where I was wondering how much we actually use for the month. And we have to do this so manually. It's not like I can't just. Yeah, I think let's save that for the next episode. And let's say that we're going to, not episode, but next Saturday. And that'll be good because I can't do it on the 15th or the 18th of May. So by the end of the next live stream, we should be able to get to a point where we're efficient, and we'll do things like, taking this, and deciding what to do. Like we can we can balance out the food in the warehouse better. You know, we can just do some things to actually get it to where we know we would make it no matter what. Does that sound fair, Nee? You know, it's you know, I can feel my voice getting a little tired. Like, it's not that I couldn't do it longer. It's just, you know, this is getting to, I think we've established a connection to the outside world with crops. You know, this is maybe you know, I'd like to get it more efficient, but I think I'm willing to do that, you know, next Saturday at the same time. Yeah, continue the paving projects. We're not going to have a lot of money for quite a while, so I'm not. The thing about the paving projects, if we come over to here or here, and we look at this summary of how much constructions cost us, you know, the constructions only cost us 700. They're going up a little bit because we're building that depot, but you know, building these gravel roads is really not costing us much. Now, the problem with building the gravel roads, now that I think about it though, is it's going to cut these trucks off. Unless we built another gravel road parallel to this road. Does that make sense? So let's open these guys and do what we just did again, right? So I know we just did this as a one-time thing, but we might as well send them back down there. Maybe that's when I'll cut it. Once these trucks get back down here. Well, I don't know. I don't know if that's such a good line. Let me just send them back here anyway. We'll leave them open so I remember that I'm supposed to do something with them. Yeah, the problem with... I guess we would almost want to do like a parallel road. Because do we really want to stop these trucks? Like, I think the first thing we should think about is getting it to where we definitely see our money going up. And start taking it... Like, I think that's what Nee's really getting at. One way or the other, I think we need to start taking advantage of the production we already have. If we take a look back here again, let's just look at last month. You know, constructions cost us $2,000, which is, you know, it's a little bit different. We don't have to construct things if we're trying to save money. So we've made $4,000. I wish they gave you a summary on this. You know, 3,000, 4,700. We're really not making money at this point, but let's look at this month. Yeah, we really need to ramp up the industries we have. Like she's absolutely right. And the best one to probably ramp up, certainly would make sense, is getting more people to go to the alcohol plant. Again, I don't think it's going to be worth doing too much extra with the gravel. Yeah, it really does make sense, certainly for shipping reasons. Now, the other thing is can you produce more? Like, even if we max these out. See, we're only going to make... This produces 6 tons, where this produces 20 tons. So, I don't see why we wouldn't just eventually get both of them going full steam ahead, you know, and exporting. But anyway, I think mostly we'll think about that in the next episode, if that's all right. I keep saying episode. Next live stream. Yeah, dirt road bypass. Yeah, I think, okay. Well, that sounds like unemployed. I don't think unemployed 11. The bigger issue is dropping population. But look, we have 110 children. So let's take a look at that real quick before we wrap up here. This year's January 9th. Not going to do us much good. Yeah, look at how many more children we have. So even though our population's dropped, I don't necessarily think we should panic. So unemployed from last year was 8. Let's do... No, we only have 8 unemployed workers. Not many. Yeah, more profit, Mood. You're absolutely right. Yes, you know what? I couldn't... So if we're going to make it more straight, an absolutely good idea, I think we're saying, do we build a construction office over here and establish... Because again, the problem is, without spending the rubles, which is sort of against the rules, even if I could, because I don't even think you can't do the construction like, this is a pretty big hill, and I would need a construction thing over here to get up over that hill, so that to make that more straight. But there's certainly maybe other areas that it could be made more straight, like in through here. But also, you definitely don't want to go up and down hills. I mean, this is flat enough that it could be built the whole way with no leveling. So that's got its advantages as well. It's up to you. If do you want the save file, Nee? Now that we know that it works and that you could download it, I have no problem. It's not hard for me to upload it and put the link there again. So yes, if you're asking for it, I will put it up there. Just confirm that you want it, and then I will do that. Probably by tomorrow. Like if that's okay. I mean, you're in Europe. I imagine you would go to bed at some point here. And I need to eat some dinner and just take a break. But I'll get it uploaded like this evening, which by the time you wake up tomorrow, hopefully it would be there. And you can yell at me in the comments if I forgot or something. Sound good? Yeah, and Mood. Oh yeah, well we'll do it. Like I said, I'll do it before I forget, and I probably won't forget this evening. If you tell me to do it on Tuesday, I may not remember because something will distract me before Tuesday. Mood, what she's talking about, just so you know, if you wanted, I don't know, Nee, was it the original map or after I think it was after the second episode, right? So it wasn't the original starting map conditions, was it? But that's another question that I'd like you guys to think about before the end of the next episode, which means no pressure at all right now. I think we've almost succeeded, to be honest with you. I mean, I think we could still mess it up by making dumb mistakes, but, really, if we just kept sending trucks up here, I think we can ramp things up. I mean, we're cutting it awful close. Is this the hardest start? Now again, I know there could be variations of this, but is this the hardest start that would be possible to do? I mean, it's awful difficult, especially with the extra criteria. But heck, even just starting in the middle of the map like this isn't necessarily easy. But by the way, if you weren't going to start in the middle of the map and you did want to be connected, I would argue that though it would be a different thing, starting here might be harder. And the reason is, even though you could sell and get as many dollars as you ever wanted, you won't be able to buy vehicles except for with rubles. So that means you would have to get all the way to a Soviet thing before you could, whatever one's closest and, easiest. It would be a pretty big challenge if you started on the hard, low money at that point. Okay, so 3 end is actually, yeah. So anyway, if you guys had an interest in the original start file, I should still have that. Like before I started the second episode, which was like a restart of the first episode, I should have one of those, just so you know. Like in other words, with just the very basics, none of the farm or any of that kind of thing that we might have done. None of the planning for this stuff. So. Well, guys, these trucks are about back to the depot, aren't they? Or are they just doing a... Where are these guys? Oh, do they go slower when they're running out of fuel? No, 34. Well, that isn't their maximum, so maybe they do. Oh, would they go get fuel here? See, this is the reason for having this depot, which isn't finished yet. Like, I could assign them to go to this depot if they weren't making it all the way up there. Though I don't know that we need that necessarily. Yes. Yes. If there was a way to exchange money, the real way to exchange money is with power lines. At least the easiest way. So if we were to hook this power station to both US or NATO and Soviet, we could sort of flip the power back and forth and run up the rubles or the dollars depending on what we wanted to deal with. Yeah. And by the way, I did try to buy a vehicle on my that was see what I did with the original series was where did I start? Just right over here. So I started up against not all the way in that corner, but midway down, we're kind of halfway and kind of far away from Molna and from the Soviets up there. So it was a real challenge in the beginning of my series not having any rubles and having to watch, before we made our road connection up there. So yeah, that would be. Yeah, let's see these guys get back, and then I'll wrap it up when these guys get done. It'll just be a few more minutes. And we probably even speed it up a little bit. I'm not in a hurry. I am getting a bit hungry. It's getting to be in the dinner time range. A little early. But I tend to eat a little bit early. This is normally when I get done work. So it's like, your body starts thinking about what are you going to cook for dinner, right? It was a little over 200,000, I think. Look how much faster they're going now. Yes, I was like the delay in chat ahead of you there, Nee. We are now in fast mode since for that exact reason. So is there anything else? All right, I'm breaking away from watching the trucks. Okay, so they're still building the road depot, just making sure they're busy. Now let's go back to the trucks. The excitement of watching trucks, right? Yeah, we could take a look at that while we're following the trucks, about the money. So one of the big indicators of money is this screen. And let's just say it's a little early. The 21st of the month, it's, things are just starting to ramp up. But we are producing 23,000 23,000, I wish. 2,400 overall production. And we are making, or we're using 3,000 in goods. So no, I would say we're sort of behind, so we have to get our construction ramped up a bit. All right, let's cancel these guys going to the depot. Cancel going to the depot. Good. Out of fuel, but you're going to go to a fuel station because you're close enough, and then they should just go make another trip, right? Anyway, let's pause it here, and then we'll save it. So to answer your question, we're not producing more, but I think we have some supply build up. So one of my votes would be that we get more people in, because we're getting low on people. 125, so we are getting down. But again, we have a bunch of children that are going to come of age too here. I hope soon. So that should give us a good shot of children, I think. A little bit of a baby boom, mini baby boom. And let's go over to the other helpful, this one, the exports. So this month, well, it's a little bit harder to separate the construction from this, but if we look at the steel, we built 4,000 steel. We've bought, well, 4,700. So between these two, that's like 6,500. Fuel, you know, some of that was used towards construction. Boards, another 500, so we're up to like 7,000 that we've spent on definitely, yeah, those are the construction things, plus a little bit of the fuel. We'll just still call it 7,000 maybe. And if we go back, what we exported was 4,300. So yeah, we only used, man, look at that. Yeah, if we add up our food costs, because we don't have any food costs because we're covering the food. We're not making meat, which, by the way, that might be another option, pretty low-hanging fruit for another industry. Take advantage of our corn, you know. As we ramp up things, just be, you know, kind of an easy thing to tack on to the corn distribution, so to speak. And so we're really only, yeah, yes, we're absolutely bringing in more money if we keep these trucks rolling. So, anyway. The population, like the actual population, let's take a look at this. Well, this year is the same. Yeah, see, the population went down since 350 of them here in June. Right? So last month we had 292 in the middle of last month, and we're kind of in the middle of this month. We can go to this date. So 288. So we've gone down a tiny bit. This, you know, we're kind of even this month, but you know, it is down slightly on the total population. No, they didn't stop. No, they just breezed right through and then filled up here, which is actually kind of good, right? Other than it's micromanagey with having to intercept them when they run out of gas, send them all the way down here, catch them when they come back. Just that way you don't have to reset their trip each time. But then again, if we get enough of these trucks going, who cares? You know, I mean, it would be a bunch of... Is it easier to catch them and do all that, or is it easier just to say, okay, click, click, and then reset them specifically to take exactly what you want from where based on what you have, you know? So, but yeah, the population we're still struggling with a bit. But I think now that we're ready to ramp up production, I think that getting more people in within the bounds of, well, do we put in more trucks to deliver more goods? But at some point that doesn't make sense because we're not really producing that much because we don't have enough people. So. Yes. Well, and again, Mood, if you can join us next week, I hope so. I generally will plan to do this every Saturday. I will be doing it next Saturday, but I'm pretty sure, and I definitely don't want to promise, on the 18th I won't be. It's a little bit tentative for just reasons as to whether I go away for the weekend or not. But let's open the average age. Lifespan, yeah, I think it was up at 88. Some of this stuff's easier to see if you can, you know, go back in the video and look. But yeah, I don't remember looking at that. But yeah, it's hasn't gone up. How's our hospital treating patients? Well, that's another problem too, by the way. Do we have enough? Oh, look, we're down to 5 educated, unless we have 1 educated. Yeah, so look, we may not have enough educated people. May be our problem. But again, these, you know, most of this stuff, you guys can review the video, and I will put a link up for knee in particular, but it will have a Dropbox save file, and you can drop it into your saves folder in the game, wherever. I'm assuming you bought it from Steam, and look in your Steam apps for this Soviet Republic, I think it's called, and then you'll figure it out. It's not that hard. You'll see a saves folder in there, if you know what I'm talking about that far. And you drop it in there, and unless Nee has something else to add to that, she's the one that actually saved it over to her computer. But you should be able to put it in and have it work, I assume. So I will take this latest save right where we're at. So if you guys want to play around with it and try different things and take a look, feel free. If not, we will be back next week to take in all of our ideas and see if we can't ramp up our production one way or the other. Like I've said before, Mood, maybe you didn't hear this, but this is a democratic socialist republic or Soviet republic. So it's, I definitely want all of your guys' opinion on what we do next and how we do it. All right, guys. So I'm going to say goodbye, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I definitely did. Once again, these are thoroughly enjoyable for me, and I definitely appreciate all of your input, and look forward to it already. Getting this, I almost don't want to stop, but like I said, my voice is getting a little bit tired and getting a little bit hungry. So it's plus I don't know if you guys remember we had the flood warning. It is now starting to look fairly a little bit ominous outside, so we may have a little bit of a storm coming here. So it's probably a good time for me to call it for many reasons. So. Now I have a question. Were you guys trying to chat, or was it just jammed up until I typed something in? Yeah, thanks, Mood. And don't forget, this is, I don't know how much you've watched, but if you find the live stream sections, if you know where that is on a YouTube page, mine's not different. There's, 2 other ones leading up to this. I don't know if you can stand 9 hours of it, but just know that it starts back, I think, in episode 3, version 3, I think it was. Yep, thanks again, Steve, for being here. I do appreciate it. Yep, Mood, have a good one. Nee, thank you again for all your advice, and I definitely hope you guys can make it next week. And if not, that's okay too. No big deal. No pressure ever. But at the same time, it's been enjoyable. All right, see you guys later. I'm going to let it play for a minute or two just so it ends well. But then I'll be gone. So thanks again. Bye-bye. Now, Nate, next week's good. It's the 18th that I wouldn't be able to make it. I just saw your chat there. So just so you know, I can make it on the 11th. It would, and again, I'm not even 100% sure of my plans just yet, but it sort of depends on other things. If a few other things happen, then I'm going to head down there and help him with a little project type thing. So, but anyway, we'll get into that next week. By next week, I'll almost definitely know about the 18th. But I will be here next week. Sorry.